these are two concerns, primary concerns of manufacturers. EV charging will go there. I mean, we are very, very less right now. If you say you need one charger per 20 EVs or one charger plus for even 40 EVs, we're very far away. We have about 12,000 or so public EV charging, and I think we need something like 80,000 for the vehicles we have already on the road right now. So there's a way to go.
So the new policy on electric vehicle adoption by the government, Amit Bhatt, does also talk about localization, PLI benefits. Sum it up for me in terms of what are some of the critical things that the government should focus on if it wants mass adoption and faster adoption of electric vehicles.
Absolutely. So I think we looked at globally what are the 5 most best effective policies that can accelerate electric vehicle transition. And we came up to 3 demand side and 2 supply side policies. So incentives like FAME, state EV policies are good. Awareness campaigns like Switch Delhi had in Delhi to raise awareness is also great. Charging infrastructure, as we discussed, is coming up, and it will accelerate with passage of time. So these are great 3 demand side policies. We also need 2 supply side policies that we don't have right now. Many countries have announced a phase out target for ICE vehicles. Now, what it does, it gives a long-term picture to OEMs that eventually they will have to shift to zero-emission vehicle, and they start product planning exercise. In India, we don't have a national
manufacturers and bike manufacturers. They're the manufacturers.
Absolutely. It's manufacturers that future is electric, so let's get into planning. Some of the OEMs have done it. Some of the large OEMs still in India don't have electric vehicle on their portfolio, and the outlook is also is not that strong. So some kind of phase-out target is important. The 5th important piece, which California used very well, is a ZEV sales mandate, which is you are mandating an OEM to sell a certain percentage of their fleet as electric. And this also pushes them to come with the newer models and newer makes. So supply side policies coupled with demand side policies can really accelerate this transition in India.
Answer this question, which is in a lot of people's mind, that how, if I'm making that switch, morally, am I not causing more harm to the planet? A, because I'm drawing electricity still to charge my electric vehicle, and B, I'm polluting by the end of life batteries going back into the waste system. Amit, do you want to quickly take that, and then I'll get Ranjita's last comment as well.
It's a complete myth. We did calculation for India, and we found an electric car in India is almost cleaner by 20% in terms of life cycle emission. As we clean the grid, these numbers will improve. So there is absolutely no question.
Ranjita, I'm also going to get your opinion on battery. A lot of us are confused, and I keep hearing that look, batteries themselves, how sustainable are they? I mean, can you use them again, and how quickly do they land up in the mounting waste of the cities?
Yeah, that's again, I completely agree with Amit on this. So just for you to understand, what an EV uses is just the top 20% of the life of a lithium-ion. The rest of the 80% is still there to use. So we work, for example, with other companies that take our battery packs at the end of their automotive useful life and put it, say, in off-grid use. So places that don't have a grid, or people who use it for stationary storage, you can still derive more 5 to 10 years of life out of that battery. And then it goes into recycling. And recycling, I think, is extremely important. And there are some very good startups and some companies doing good work in India, because we don't have those minerals, the mines in India, right? We don't have that research. So I think it's very important, exactly, to once we import it, to recover as much as we can and put it back into use.
All right, I'm going to conclude by saying what my guest said, rising air pollution is a major crisis across Indian cities, and the winter is coming, so the clean air that we kind of breathe now is going to disappear very, very soon. So a massive transformation and adoption of mobility or clean mobility is essential. This is Manisha Natratan signing off. Goodbye.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
President Murmu says the powerful remain fearless even after crimes. This is the president bats for judicial reforms. She says victims live in fear and culprits roam free. She calls for fast-track justice for all. In the Kerala Me Too movement, under scanner CPM MLA faces a fresh charge after the rape case and an assault allegation against MLA Mukesh. Mr. Muralidharan says it's a shame that the government is protecting the MLA. Days after the Arjikar horror, a nurse has been allegedly assaulted on duty in Bengal's Birbhum. Well, this as a patient allegedly molested the nurse in Birbhum, and also a 13-year-old patient was allegedly assaulted at a Howrah hospital. Uddhav Thackeray, Sharad Pawar lead the march against the Maharashtra government. Well, this as the Maharashtra opposition holds protests against the Shivaji statue collapse. The opposition alliance MVA holds a protest march. Top MVA leaders at the protest site. Uddhav Thackeray says we are fighting for the dignity of Maharashtra. Well, this as the BJP holds counter protests. Rain havoc in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Heavy rain triggers floods and landslides. At least 8 people have died in Andhra Pradesh. This as Telangana is also on a rain red alert. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I am Vedant Agarwal. Our lead story, well, President Murmu batting for fast-track justice of all. She says, after 75 years of independence, the powerful remain free. This as victims feel like they are the culprits, given the fact that cases lie pending in courts for decades on end. The president also said that victims live in fear and the culprits roam free. She says that there has to be fast-track justice even for the marginalized, even for the poor. The president also makes some important remarks about judicial reforms that have been long due. Take a look at what the president had to say.
एविडेंस और विटनेसेस से जुड़े मुद्दों पर न्यायपालिका, सरकार और पुलिस प्रशासन को मिलजुल कर समाधान निकालना चाहिए। कुछ मामले में साधन संपन्न लोग अपराध करने के बाद भी निर्भीक और निश्चोत घूमते रहते हैं। जो लोग उनके अपराधों से पीड़ित होते हैं, वे डरे से में रहते हैं, मानो उन्हीं बेचारों ने कई अपराध कर दिया है। महिला पीड़िताओं की स्थिति और भी खराब होती है, क्योंकि प्रायः समाज के लोग भी उनके साथ नहीं देते। हम लोग व्हाइट कोट हाइपरटेंशन के बारे में जानते हैं और सुनते हैं। बहुत से लोगों का ब्लड प्रेशर हॉस्पिटल का वातावरण में बढ़ जाता है। मुझे लगता है कि इसी तरह सामान्य व्यक्ति का तनाव कोर्ट कचहरी के वातावरण में भी बढ़ जाता है। इसका अध्ययन करके इस स्थिति को शायद ब्लैक कोट सिंड्रोम का नाम दिया जा सकता है। जो बलात्कार जैसे जघन्य अपराध के मामले में न्यायालय के निर्णय एक पीढ़ी के गुजर जाने के बाद आते हैं, तो सामान्य व्यक्ति को लगता है कि न्याय प्रक्रिया में संवेदनशीलता कम है।
And my senior colleague Sunil Prabhu, in fact, is now joining us live. So, Sunil, sir, it's a rather sorry state of affairs that so many years after independence, you have the president having to call for fast-track justice for all. This is, you know, speedy trials and speedy justice remain a pipe dream, particularly for the poor. Just break it down for us. Where are the flaws? Where are the fault lines? Of course, judicial reforms have been long pending.
Well, if you listen to the president's speech to the district judiciary, I think there are 3 important points that has been put across. One, of course, that the poor, with great amount of caution, go to courts in the first place. And then, of course, this frequent adjournment is something that is a huge cause of concern. And especially in heinous crimes like rape or various other heinous acts where, the victim has to wait for justice for years and it takes a long time, really, as she says, allows the powerful to go scot-free. And the most important point where the president continuously saying that, the frequent adjournments require the judiciary to work in tandem with the society to ensure speedy justice and hopefully deal with the pendency cases which are taking place, Lok Adalats, which have now been, is a new buzzword in the judiciary. Hopefully these will address a huge amount of concerns and help, address this gap in terms of speedy justice. So important points. She is, of course, the head of the judiciary. She appoints the Chief Justice of India. And it's in that backdrop telling the district judiciary that the tariq per tariq, the date after date, adjournments, frequent adjournments, is a big hindrance towards speedy justice.
All right, Sunil sir, thanks very much for joining us with the latest there. In fact, as Sunil sir is pointing out that fast-track justice remains a pipe dream, and as the head of the judiciary, as somebody who appoints judges, the president there making several important points, including the fact that it cannot be a society where fast-track justice is elusive for the poor, for the marginalized, and the powerful remain free. This, of course, amid outrage over what happened in Bengal and also what we are seeing unfold in the Kerala film industry as well. But this, as BJP President JP Nadda, while speaking at the three-day RSS BJP meeting in Palakkad in Kerala, questioned the Kerala government over its inaction as far as the Me Too controversy is concerned. In fact, JP Nadda said that the Kerala government seems to be complicit in the entire controversy. He also said that, well, the delay in the release of the Hema Committee report is also something that raises larger concerns. Take a look.
Why the delay in the justice to the Hema Committee report? What is stopping them? The Hema Committee report? What stops you? What is haunting you? Because you are part and parcel of that. Something you want to hide.
The day of the election, I said there are unholy nexus between CPM in Kerala and the BJP. So the LDF convener met Prakash Javadekar, who is in charge of Prabhari of the Kerala BJP. Why? And Chief Minister protected Jayarajan and said that I also met Prakash Javadekar many times. Why? Why the Chief Minister of Kerala? He is a Politburo member Kerala. Why he met the Prakash Javadekar? He is not a central minister. He is only the Prabhari of the Kerala BJP. Why? For what purpose?
Well, in fact, Vedant, as you rightly mentioned, this time it is JP Nadda who has reacted on the Hema Committee report and questioned the Kerala government over the delay. In fact, as we heard just now, JP Nadda questioned that who is it that the Kerala government wants to protect? Why was there a delay in releasing the Hema Committee report? Because, it was over around 5 years that it took for the Hema Committee report to be public. So all of those issues today, in fact, JP Nadda has attacked the Kerala government and also the Chief Minister, saying that Chief Minister should also break his silence over this. So now, we are seeing that it is not just the Congress but also the BJP who continues to attack the Kerala government, and in fact, the Chief Minister himself has to come out and answer. And we are seeing that the agitations also, if we talk about it, the protests are being carried out by the Congress and the BJP on the streets of Kerala. Over to you.
And well, this is another case has been registered against CPM MLA and actor Mukesh. Remember, he's already facing rape allegations, and now another sexual assault case has been registered against Mukesh in Kerala's Thrissur. This, as many as 100 women activists have demanded Mukesh's resignation, though the CPM has made it clear that it will not categorically ask Mukesh to step down. The CPM says that if others with similar allegations have not stepped down, why should Mukesh? But this as the chorus for justice grows and the pressure on the left government as well.
Joining us now is V. Muralidharan. Sir, my first question to you is that we have seen that how the Hema Committee report came out and then the FIR were registered. One such FIR was, in fact, there are other cases as well that were registered against MLA Mukesh. But yesterday in the meeting, in the standing committee meeting of the CPIM, they in fact now have decided to not ask for his resignation. How do you see?
It's a shame on the people of Kerala, and it is a shame for the entire country that a state government and a party who claims to be a national party and a party who claims that we are for the protection of women, in spite of such very clear evidences that has come out through the Hema Committee report, has chosen to protect him. The FIR, filing of the FIR is not sufficient. After the filing of the FIR, the law says that within 24 hours, a statement should be made before the magistrate. The government has not done anything on that. So the government is trying to protect the culprits instead of protecting the victims. So we demand that 4.5 years, they chose not to act on that in spite of the submission of the report. So now once the report has come out, they are trying to say and draw parallels between some other MLAs of the Congress. If Congress MLAs are found to be guilty of atrocities against women, they should also resign. But that doesn't absolve the CPM from asking their MLA to resign. So we demand that those people about whom such issues have come up, very clear evidence has come out, they should resign forthwith Even the minister who decided not to reveal the contents of the Hema committee, he has no authority to continue in power.
Sir, my second question is, yesterday when after the meeting, the press conference was conducted, there the party said that we are in fact, letting the investigation continue against our MLA. This shows that we are not protecting him. How do you react?
See, investigation continuing is not the government's decision. The law takes its own course. So law is not decided by the investigating agencies are not expected to be controlled by the state government. So the law will take its course. But what is the moral decision, moral authority by which an MLA will continue in power in spite of such serious allegations against him?
So my last question to you is that the partner in the government, that is the CPI, they also demanded his resignation, and that was conveyed to the Chief Minister. But when after, the party did not choose to ask for his resignation, so far, no such demand they have put on, on social media or in public domain. How do you see that?
Perhaps it shows that if they proceed against the MLA against whom such allegations have been raised, many skeletons will tumble out of this cupboard. Perhaps that could be the reason why they are choosing not to react. So that means what has come out is only a tip of the iceberg. There are many more things that is still hidden.
So Chief Minister has not responded till now.
Chief Minister has decided to wish away such allegations, but he should remember that the people will not be silent unless a concrete action is taken against the culprits.
So this was in fact V. Muralidharan, who was in fact speaking to us on the Hema Committee report and also on MLA Mukesh, and said that the people will not be silenced until and unless Chief Minister takes concrete action. Now with camera person Babu, this is Ishka Verma for NDTV.
And moving now to what actor Mammootty has said on the Me Too movement. Well, he said that all the recommendations of the Hema Committee report must be implemented. He said that I've waited for this long enough. He also says there are many fault lines as far as the Kerala film industry is concerned. But he also makes an important point that that cinema must go on and that this does not take the sheen off the Malayalam cinema. This, of course, comes after prominent actors like Mohanlal have also spoken out. But absolutely shocking that as prominent actors, women activists and filmmakers from across industries come out and join the chorus for justice for all the survivors. Superstar Rajinikanth says that I don't know about the Hema Committee report. In fact, this as a response to a question on a probe in the various sexual assault charges that have come into the limelight in the Tamil Nadu film industry as well. But Rajinikanth says he has no idea about the Hema Committee report.
அவருடைய அன்புக்கு பாசத்துக்கு நான் ரொம்ப நன்றி தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறேன். அந்த படம் நல்லா போனோம், நல்லா போயிட்டு.
தொடர்ந்து தமிழ் திரையுலகுக்கும் ஹேமா கமிட்டி அமைக்க சொல்லி நிறைய பேர் வலியுறுத்துறாங்க. இது ஹேமா கமிட்டி மலையாளம்
எனக்கு தெரியாதுங்க, அதை பத்தி தெரியாது, சாரி. கூலி போன எப்படி சார் போயிட்டு இருக்கு? நல்லா போயிட்டு இருக்கு, நல்லா போயிட்டு இருக்கு.
கார் பந்தயம் நடைபெறுது, எப்படி பாக்குறீங்க சார்?
வாழ்த்துக்கள். பார்க்க வரீங்களா? வாழ்த்துக்கள். Thank you.
கார் பந்தயம் பார்க்க வரீங்களா?
Thank you.
In fact, Vice President Thackeray has now spoken on the horrific incident that happened at the Ayodhya Medical College and Hospital. And after 3 weeks of the horrific incident, 2 more molestation cases have been reported. VP Thackeray says that what happened on August the 9th was not just an incident, but it has shocked the collective consciousness of the entire country. In fact, it has shamed humanity, is what the Vice President said. Listen.
For the first time in my life, I am totally drained out. It took me a lot of courage to come to this place, but I could not have left the land of gods without being accountable before you all. On August 9, 2024, was not an incident, not a culpable act. It was barbarity expressed in extremity, shaming humanity, and the victim happened to be from a category, a class that is ever devoted to saving lives.
Meanwhile, just weeks after the horrific incident at the Rajinikanth Medical College and Hospital, another such incident has taken place in Bengal's Birbhum. In fact, a nurse on duty was allegedly assaulted by a patient. The patient in this case has been arrested. But listen in to what the victim had to say.
নাইট শিফটে আসার পর একজন পেশেন্ট এসেছিলেন, তো মেল পেশেন্ট, তো উনি ফিভার কমপ্লেন নিয়ে এসেছিলেন। তো ডক্টরের অ্যাডভাইসের মতো আমি স্যালাইন চালাতে গেছিলাম। তো স্যালাইন চালানোর জন্য চ্যানেল করতে যাই, তখনই আর কি পেশেন্টটা আমার সাথে মিসবিহেভ করে, মানে আমার গায়ে হাত দেয় আর কি, ঠিক আছে, প্রাইভেট পার্টে। এমনি গালিগালাজ তো করছিলেন।
না, কোথাও কি মনে হচ্ছে নিরাপত্তাহীনতায় ভুগছেন? এতর পর মানে একের পর এক ঘটনা ঘটে যাচ্ছে।
নিরাপত্তা তো নেই, সেটা তো বলতেই হবে। সিকিউরিটি কম বলেই তো সবগুলো হচ্ছে না। নাহলে একজন পেশেন্ট কি কখনো সাহস পায় ওরকমভাবে কোনো স্টাফের গায়ে একজন কাজ করছেন ওনার কাছে, অথচ বাড়ির লোক হাঁ করে দেখছে? এটা তো উচিত নয় না।
বাড়ির লোকও ছিল?
হ্যাঁ, প্রচুর বাড়ির লোক ছিল।
পুলিশের নিরাপত্তা কিছু অভাব বোধ করছেন?
অবশ্যই, পুলিশ তো এখানে থাকে না, কোনো পোস্টের পুলিশ এখানে নেই। গভর্নমেন্ট হসপিটাল এটা, তাও নেই। আর এখানে তো নাইট অফিসারও থাকেই না, মানে দিনেও কেউ থাকে না পুলিশ।
না, এত বড় ঘটনা ঘটে গেছে, তারপরেও পুলিশের কোনো নিরাপত্তা?
পুলিশ এসেছিল, পুলিশ জানার পরে অনেকক্ষণ ছিলেন পুলিশ, কমপ্লেনও করেছি, এসেছিলেন থানা থেকে সব।
ওকে কি পুলিশ অ্যারেস্ট করে নিয়ে গেছে নাকি এখানে এসে?
বলেছেন যে অ্যারেস্ট করা হয়েছে, বললেন একটু আগে।
And moving now to the big political face-off in Maharashtra over the collapse of the Shivaji statue. Well, agitation versus agitation on the streets of Mumbai. This as Uddhav Thackeray and Chhatrapati led a protest march against the government. They say that government's corruption is the primary reason for the collapse of the Shivaji statue. Uddhav Thackeray also said that the Prime Minister's apology reeks of arrogance. But now the Chief Minister has also responded to this. Listen in to that big political face-off between the MVA and the Maha Yuti in an election year.
मनातला संताप व्यक्त करण्यासाठी आपण हे जे काही ठिकाण निवडलेले आहे, छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराज आहेत आणि गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया म्हणजे आपल्या देशाचा प्रवेशद्वार, आज या तिथे छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांच्या साथीने हे जे शिवद्रोही सरकार आपल्या महाराष्ट्रामध्ये बेकायदेशीरित्या घटना बाह्य पद्धतीने बसलेलं आहे, त्यांना आपण सांगितलं पाहिजे गेट आउट ऑफ इंडिया,
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज ये हमारे लिए राजकीय मुद्दा नहीं हो सकता है, ये हमारे लिए अस्मिता और श्रद्धा का विषय है। लेकिन हुई ये घटना वो दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, वो दुर्दैवी है, दुखद है, लेकिन उसकी राजनीति करना उससे ज़्यादा दुखद है, दुर्दैवी है। वो आज विपक्ष कर रहे हैं। मैंने अभी वीडियो दिखाया है, ये कर्नाटक का वीडियो है, उसमें छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज जी का प्रतिमा को तोड़ने के लिए 2-2 जेसीबी लाए गए और वो स्टैचू उखाड़ दिया। अब ये कौन सा है? अब उनको इन्होंने जोड़ा मारना चाहिए, उनको चप्पल से मारना चाहिए।
And moving now to isolated incidents of violence still being reported in Manipur, though of course the state is now limping back to normalcy. But an isolated incident of violence was reported in Manipur's Kotok. In fact, one person has died and one is injured. The security forces and the police have launched an operation in the area. My colleague Ratndeep Chaudhary has more details.
This is a reason of concern for the security forces, all the agencies which are operating in Manipur, given the fact that this incident of fresh violence comes after days of Manipur limping back to normalcy. However, the timing is crucial given the fact that yesterday we did see massive protest rallies by the Kuki Zomi groups in their dominated areas, where they once again reiterated their core demand of a separate administration, of a separate union territory. They squarely blamed the Chief Minister of Manipur and Biren Singh for the situation. In fact, yesterday in the border of Kangkopi district, which is dominated by the Kuki Zomi tribe, and the Senapati district dominated by the Naga tribe, there were a bit of tension. And also in response to yesterday's peace rally, actually in the Imphal Valley region, the Meitei civil society groups had called for a bandh, which did see some response. Shops were closed and public transport was off-road. So therefore, yesterday yesterday there were fresh move by the groups, but today we did see this incident where now what we can put out on record, what we have been confirmed by security agencies, that there were incident of firing in Kotub where one person have died, another minor has got injured, and then in the subsequent search operations that were launched in the area, there were explosion in the area. Now how did this explosion take place is something which the security forces have not confirmed. There are visuals doing around of the tin roofs of houses ripped apart by some sort of explosive projectile which has entered the homes. How this has been launched is not cleared, but in the combing operation, one security force person have got seriously injured. He has been shifted to hospital. We are also hearing that there is another minor injury to another security force personnel. However, more reinforcement have been sent in the area. There are visuals of this situation doing around in social media. While the security forces have not confirmed the veracity of those visuals, but this definitely puts once again question mark in terms of where the strategy is in place, particularly in these border areas of where the two communities live, where now this fresh incident of violence has been reported.
And now the big political face-off in the national capital ahead of the civic polls. Well, it's the Aam Aadmi Party versus the BJP over alleged political kidnapping. In fact, it was an Aam Aadmi Party councillor who alleged that BJP goons kidnapped him and also threatened him with ED CBI cases. In fact, he has now returned home. He spoke to the media as well. The BJP says that these are nothing but cooked up stories. Take a look.
आज सुबह मेरे घर पर 5-6 लोग आए और उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया। आते ही उन्होंने अपनी गाड़ी में मुझे बिठा लिया और लेके गए भारतीय जनता पार्टी कार्यालय में। वहाँ ये बात आई कि भाई आप जो है ना इस तरह से अगर करोगे ठीक नहीं होगा। ईडी और सीबीआई को जानते हो, तो इस तरह से धमकी दे दी उन्होंने और कहा कि आपके लिए ठीक नहीं होगा, बहुत ही आपका गलत हो जाएगा। तो मेरे बेटा ने जैसे ही 100 नंबर पे कॉल करा तो पुलिस आ गई और इन्होंने हमारे जो पार्टी के शीर्ष नेता हैं बड़े बड़े, उन्होंने फ़ोन किया पुलिस को, पुलिस कमिश्नर को। तो ये सब बातें जब उन्होंने सुनी वहाँ पे, तो मुझे जो है ना किसी के थ्रू मेरे घर छुड़वा दिया।
Now I'm joined by Virendra Sachdeva, Delhi BJP State President. And sir, आप मुझे ये बताइए, हम NDTV को SHO ने भी बताया है कि कोई FIR फाइल नहीं हुआ है, और आपको लगता है कि this is a big theatrical incident that they are conjuring up right before the Delhi Assembly election?
थैंक यू जो आपने बताया कि पुलिस ने खुद बताया कि FIR दर्ज नहीं हुई है। दिल्ली शहर में कोई आदमी किडनैप होता है और FIR नहीं कराता है, तो आप समझ लीजिए कि कहानी क्या है। पूरी की पूरी सर्कस है आम आदमी पार्टी, और उसमें जितने जोकर हैं वो अपना अपना किरदार अदा कर रहे हैं। रामचंद्र एक घर बैठ के वीडियो बनाते हैं और कुछ भी बोलते हैं और हमको जवाब देना पड़ रहा है। हमारा मानना ये है कि इनको फिर सपने में केजरीवाल आए होंगे जिन्होंने कहा होगा जाओ रामचंद्र आज एक झूठा वीडियो बनाओ, तो इन्होंने बना दिया। लेकिन इनके वीडियो से ज़्यादा हंसी मुझे उन नेताओं पे आती है, वो जो बयानवीर हैं आम आदमी पार्टी के, जो जमानत पे छूटे हुए हैं, वो कूद रहे हैं कि जी किडनैप कर लिया। अभी किडनैप कर लिया तो जाइए पुलिस में।
Aam Aadmi Party leader Manish Sisodia also making these allegations. So who do you think is directing?
I am talking about Manish Sisodia and Sanjay Singh. बेल पे छूटे हुए ना, इसलिए मैंने कहा जमानती बयानवीर। मैं इनको चुनौती देता हूँ, जाइए FIR कराइए ना। अगर उसको लेकर गए हैं तो उन्होंने कहीं कंप्लेंट की होगी, 100 नंबर पे फ़ोन किया होगा, कोई शिकायत की होगी, कहाँ है वो?
बट उन लोगों का एलिगेशन ये है कि दिल्ली पुलिस इज इन्वॉल्व्ड विद BJP एंड
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जी। दिल्ली पुलिस अपना काम करती है और हम तो दिल्ली पुलिस से अपील कर रहे हैं। अगर वो कह रहे हैं कि उन्हें BJP ऑफिस ले गए हैं, तो दिल्ली में तो हर सड़क पे CCTV कैमरे लगे हैं, फुटेज चेक कीजिए।
And with that, we'll take a short break now, but news continues on the other side.
Allegations of sexual harassment, assault, molestation leveled by top actors of the Malayalam film industry have spiraled into an all too familiar Me Too movement.
You know, we have such dirty places to work in. We would not even have changing rooms. Most of the men have videos of women changing in the caravan.
I remember when Tanushree came out with her story. Initially, everyone was just calling it a publicity stunt.
Why does our society continue to uphold a patriarchal mindset?
When you start punishing them, when they know that they cannot get away with it, is when things will actually change.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Today we launch
launched the Thinkers series. Hello and welcome to the NDTV Dialogues, a conversation of ideas. Today we launched the Thinkers series, and who better to join us than global thinker Professor Kishore Mehbubani. Professor Mehbubani is currently a distinguished fellow at the National University of Singapore. He was also the founding dean of the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, and of course has been an international diplomat, a prolific writer, and currently has just written his 10th book. This is an undiplomatic memoir about living the Asian century. Professor Mehbubani, thanks very much for being on the NDTV Dialogues.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Let me begin by asking you an undiplomatic question. You just wrote a column in the FT, and for many India watchers and of course Indians here, it was very interesting because you proposed that the UK should actually give up its place on the UN Security Council for India. Why did you say that, and what was the reasoning behind that strongly worded article?
Well, I can tell you that this is not rocket science. This is just plain common sense. You know, I was ambassador to the UN twice, from 84 to 89 and 98 to 2004. And it's very clear that when the founders of the UN, created the UN, they realized that the only way to make the United Nations work is to make sure that all the great powers of the day have a vested interest in the UN and not leave it. And that's why they gave the great powers, veto powers, and permanent membership of the UN Security Council. And I can say that the lesson that they learned from the collapse of the League of Nations early in the 20th century is that if a great power leaves, organization collapses. But they also believed that you must have the great powers of today, not the great powers of yesterday. Unfortunately, they didn't create a mechanism for changing the seats, but that it was very clear that what they had in mind was to ensure that the great powers of the day were entrenched in the United Nations. And today there's absolutely no question that India is the third most powerful country in the world after United States and China. And Great Britain is no longer great, as we know. And frankly, the United Kingdom has effectively given up its veto in the UN Security Council because it hasn't used it for decades. They know that if they use it, people get very, very upset. So the logical thing to do is for the UK to give up its seat to India.
And of course, India has been saying this now, whether it's Prime Minister Modi, whether it's Foreign Minister Jaishankar, that really the UN and other multilateral organizations need to reform or, in a sense, perish. Now, interestingly, we've seen also that geopolitically, India has made a number of strategic moves over the last years. And of course, Prime Minister Modi being both in first Russia and then Ukraine, and India making it very clear that diplomatically and geopolitically, it's following the India way. How do you see these moves, and especially an interesting perspective from you, because it comes away from the West's planning that India often has to listen to in terms of analysis of its foreign policy?
Yeah, well, first a quick word on reform. I think Prime Minister Modi and Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar are absolutely right that the time has come to reform the United Nations. But, as I said, having been ambassador there for over 10 years, they've been talking about Security Council reform since 1992, and nothing has happened. And that's why we need to make some dramatic moves, like persuading the United Kingdom to give up its seat to India. And that will be a step-by-step way of trying to improve, change the Security Council. But you're also right when you say that the India clearly is playing a bigger and bigger role in the world. I mean, look at the fact. Let me ask yourself a simple question. How many leaders in the world can comfortably visit both Russia and Ukraine and be received warmly by both countries? Very, very few countries in the world. And the fact that Prime Minister Modi can do that is a sign of how India has arrived as a major geopolitical actor. And therefore, the greatest scope that is given to India to play a role globally, like, for example, giving it a permanent membership in the UN Security Council, will enable India to do much more in terms of creating a better world.
Could this not happen with an expansion rather than giving up? Because we both know how idealistic it may sound, and especially in the UK, I mean, I doubt that any country would give up. You have, of course, made an argument on why they would actually give up that membership. Is there not an argument for expansion instead, or a recognition that you can't ignore the country which is currently the most populous in the world?
You know, countries cannot be great powers forever. And frankly, it would be better for British interests to give up its seat to India. Not only do you get the friendship of India, but it frees up the UK to act independently, because in the Security Council, essentially the UK has become a satellite state of the United States, and everyone knows it. And it's sad. It's sad to see a great country like the United Kingdom behave like a satellite state, incapable of disagreeing in any way with the United States.
No, and also, of course, there's the economic arguments. Of course, perhaps a sense of history coming full circle, that a country which once colonized India is now, of course, India emerging as an economic power, the third largest economy. But there also remains the fact that India has challenges on its path of becoming from an emerging economy to actually becoming a developed economy. That's something which is on the political agenda for now, but challenges remain. And many say, let's look at other ways of judging it, because otherwise, how can you say just judge India on GDP and not look at per capita income? Your views on that?
Well, I would say at the end of the day, what matters is the size of your GDP, not your per capita income. Let me give you one statistic that illustrates this. In the year 1980, the combined GDP of the European Union countries was 8 times bigger than China. 8 times bigger, 1980. Today, they are about the same size. By 2050, the European Union will be half the size of Europe. Can you imagine Europe going from being 8 times bigger than China to becoming half the size of China? Now, of course, China's GDP will continue to remain lower than that of Europe. But functionally, China is now a much larger, more powerful actor than all of Europe. And this is part of a dramatic global shift away from the West to the rest. Now, many countries in the West may have lower per capita GDPs, but what matters at the end of the day is the size of your economy, because that will determine your place in the global hierarchy. And certainly in PPP terms now, number 1 is China, number 2 is United States, number 3 is India. And that's why these are the 3 most powerful countries in the world today.
You've made that point in your essays, etc., that this whole, in a sense, the West having lost control of the world, the crisis of leadership in the West, and how the global South and the whole shift of power is really what's going to define geopolitics, not just now, but in the decades and century to come. You, of course, have written extensively on the Asian century. Many observers have said that this could be the Indian century. Tell us why you think the West is in a crisis of, say, leadership, geopolitical strategy, and why you think there's been this shift of balance of power.
Well, the West clearly has got to accept that its capacity to dominate the world in the way that it could in the past is over. I mean, it's hard to believe this, right, Sonia? 100 years ago, in the year 1924, 100,000 Englishmen could rule over 300 million of our ancestors, the Indians. I find that quite amazing. 100,000 Englishmen ruling 300 million Indians? How is that possible? But it happened. It was real. The West was just so incredibly powerful. But the world has come full circle now. And the West now represents 12% of the world's population. The rest make up 88%. And I already illustrated by comparing Europe's GNP with China's GNP. The relative share of the GNP of the Western countries is going down. Let me give you another comparison. Okay, in the year 2000, roughly around then, the combined GNP of the G7 countries, representing the West, was 2.5 times bigger than the BRICS countries in PPP terms. Now G7 is smaller than BRICS. See, that's how times have changed. And so the intelligent thing for the West to do is to adapt intelligently and thoughtfully. And I must emphasize, I don't speak here as an enemy of the West. I speak here as a friend of the West, trying to persuade both the Europe and United States that it would be wiser for them to share power, to share control of international institutions with the countries of the global South. And, for example, why do we have this absurd rule that says that to become the head of the IMF, you must be a European. To become the head of the World Bank, you must be an American citizen. Why not allow Asians to run these institutions? Because the fastest growing economies in the world are not European, not American, but Asian economies. So these are examples of how we must adapt to the 21st century. And the 21st century, I want to emphasize, will be the Asian century, because it will be the rise of not just China and India, but other Asian powers too. And one small point I'd like to make here is that Indians should pay special attention to Southeast Asia, to the 10 ASEAN countries. Because, 9 out of the 10 Southeast Asian countries have an Indic base in their culture. For 2,000 years, India has been very close to Southeast Asia. And Southeast Asia is emerging as a major growth pole in the world also. And I'll just give you one more statistic that I think every Indian should be aware of. In the year 2000, out of the 3.5 billion people who live in the three growth poles, the CIA, China, India, ASEAN. CIA doesn't mean Central Intelligence Agency. It means China, India, ASEAN. Out of the 3.5 billion people living in the CIA countries, only 150 million people enjoy middle-class living standards. Today, out of 3.5 billion, by 2020, the number hit 1.5 billion. It went up 10 times in 20 years.
No, the
and by
numbers
2030, by 2030, it will be 2.5 to 3 billion.
The numbers are, the scale is actually staggering. And what I want to ask, because you made that point also about Western ideas and thoughts, which tend to have dominated the world view because of the earlier dominance. And this whole issue of democracy, liberal democracies, etc. India, in that sense, is an outlier of democracy given our region of South Asia, where we, of course, face from Pakistan, India, Pakistan are completely dehyphenated. But you've got Pakistan on one border, you've got China on another border, you've got Bangladesh, and we've seen the collapse that suddenly happened there. Where do you see India geopolitically in a very difficult region, and also a region where they are currently a democratic outlier? We saw also what's happened in Sri Lanka 2 years ago. So the whole South Asian model of democracy and the Asian model of democracy has been very, very different from what we've seen in the West. And clearly there's no one size that fits all.
You're absolutely right. There's no one size that fits all. And it's true that many developing countries are struggling with democracy, but there are also, importantly, some success stories that we should pay attention to. India is, of course, a very good success story. In democracy, you have regular elections, and the winning parties accept the results of the elections. As you know, what shocked the world was in the year 2020, when Donald Trump refused to accept the results of the elections. That's supposed to happen, in the third world developing countries, but it happened in the United States of America. But I also want to point out that apart from India, Indonesia is also another very successful democracy. It is, the most populous Islamic country in the world. It has had very peaceful elections. It has had very peaceful changes of leaders from President SBY to President Jokowi, soon to President Prabowo. And so there are other success stories in the developing world too. And I think in the case of India, I think it's important for India to continue to succeed and serve as a source of inspiration for Asia and for the rest of the world.
You've talked. I mentioned briefly the crisis of Western leadership that you've talked about, and we've seen in a time when the world seems to be in global conflict. What's currently happening in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, what's currently happening in Gaza, and you said this is actually a failure in a sense of geopolitics. Tell me more about what you meant about that, and let's just look also at what's currently happening between India and China.
Well, I've been studying geopolitics now for, I guess, 53 years, since 1971. And I think we should have a simple rule that says that wars reflect geopolitical incompetence. Peace reflects geopolitical competence. And certainly, I think what Europeans need to ask themselves is a simple question. Why is it they set up so many institutions like OSCE and they fail to stop the war in Ukraine? And, of course, there's no question that the Russian invasion of Ukraine is illegal, which is why the UN correctly condemned it. But that war could have been avoided if the countries of Europe had listened to very eminent statesmen like Henry Kissinger, like George Kennan, who advised Europe against pushing Ukraine to NATO because you were crossing a red line of Russia unnecessarily. That was not necessary at all. And similarly, unfortunately, the war in Gaza sadly reflects, and certainly we should condemn the attack by Hamas on innocent Israeli civilians. But that conflict could also have been avoided if the United States had used its diplomatic muscles to try and push for a two-state solution effectively between Israel and Palestine. And you see, very sadly, you see that the Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, has gone to the Middle East, I don't know how many times, and has been completely unable to achieve either a ceasefire or some kind of pause in the fighting. And it's very sad because that incapability to stop wars and prevent wars also reflects geopolitical incompetence. By contrast, by the way, most of East Asia, you haven't seen a major war since 1979, since the Sino-Vietnamese War. But of course, there are challenges in our region. And you correctly pointed out one big challenge, and that challenge is the relationship between China and India. And there's one thing that worries me when I talk about the Asian century. I believe that the Asian century is going to happen, and certainly I expect, as I gave you the data, China, India, ASEAN, and frankly, you've got to add Japan, South Korea, and others are going to flourish and do well. But if relations between China and India become difficult, and if they get caught in any kind of downward spiral, that would sadly affect the rest of Asia too.
So in that sense, India has some very complex challenges, because one, you have, of course, the concern about Russia and China becoming closer, perhaps as a fallout also of Russia's isolation from the West. You have the worry over Pakistan becoming a failed state and what that does to more fundamentalist elements, and of course the continuing, in that sense, aggression or incursions backed by Pakistan forces in Jammu and Kashmir. You have also the worry of Afghanistan and the Taliban, and now what's happening in Bangladesh. How do you think India, what do you think are the best ways ahead for India to actually maneuver this complex tightrope walk, as it were, in its region?
Well, I think let's start with the first example you gave of Russia. As you know, Russia has been a very good friend to India. I mean, I know that whenever India had some problems in the UN Security Council, and when they wanted to block countries from taking measures that would be hostile to India, India could always turn to the Russian delegation. And the Russian delegation would always say to the Indian delegation, if you want us to veto a resolution, we'll be happy to do so on your behalf. So I can understand the deep friendship that has developed between Russia and India. But I think if India wants to help Russia in its current predicament, the best thing that India could do is to repeat what George Kennan, the eminent American strategic thinker, what Henry Kissinger said, which is that to try and arrive at a compromise on Ukraine, whereby the people of Ukraine have their sovereign right to do what they want to do, to be what they want to be. And frankly, if they want to join the European Union, they can join the European Union, but they shouldn't join NATO. That's a compromise. So it takes care of the core interests of all the powers. And most people know that that's a sensible solution to push for. And at the end of the day, I think it's important for India, which is now big enough, to speak privately to the European Union members and tell them that at the end of the day, Europe will have to live with Russia, not for the next 10 years, not for the next 100 years, but for the next 1,000 years. Why create a very angry, alienated Russia? Why not try to build bridges with Russia? And if you can normalize the relations, if India can help to normalize relations between Russia and Europe and help to find a solution to Ukraine, then India will once again have a very strong friend in Russia that it can work with without a problem. So I think there are various things that India can do. And in terms of its neighborhood, I would say the one good thing that India could do is to learn something from ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The diversity in Southeast Asia is much more than the diversity in South Asia. You have out of 700 million people in Southeast Asia, you have 250 million Muslims, 150 million Christians, 150 million Buddhists, Mahayana Buddhists, Hinayana Buddhists. And then we have Taoists, we have Confucianists, we have Hindus, and we have lots of communists in Southeast Asia. And yet Southeast Asia has been at peace. ASEAN is a model of regional cooperation. And the way we have done it, one way we have done it, is to open our borders completely to trade with each other. And that growing trade with each other has generated context and understanding. And that's why I believe that provides a model for South Asia to follow also.
You've talked, of course, about the United States, and in that sense, Secretary of State Antony Blinken's failures, or the US's failures to control the Gaza war. But also, let me ask you, because we've got the November presidential elections coming up between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Do you think that, in a sense, what is good for the world? Because do you think a second term for President Trump is something that would be good globally, geopolitics-wise? Do you think President Kamala Harris, if it happens? And also, of course, when you've talked about great statesmen, great leadership, who do you think are, say, the top 5 leaders of today? Where do you think the real leadership is coming from globally?
Well, I'm glad you raised the question about the United States, because there's no question whatsoever that the United States is by far still the most powerful country in the world in a comprehensive sense. And I always say that I'm a friend of the United States. And certainly we in Singapore want to see a strong, capable United States, and a United States that's playing an important leadership role on the world stage. But as you know, the United States can only play an important leadership role on the world stage if it is domestically a happy country. But as you know, the United States today has never been unhappier. In fact, if you look at my book, Has China Won, in chapter 7, I point out that sadly, functionally, the United States has become a plutocracy where the rich make the decisions. And as a result of it, the bottom 50% in the United States have not seen an improvement in their standard of living for 3 or 4 decades now. And that's very sad. We want to see a better United States than this one. But all these internal problems of the United States are now preoccupying the American people and also the American leaders. And so whether Donald Trump wins or Kamala Harris wins, they will have to focus their attention primarily on their domestic needs, which are growing significantly. And as you know, Donald Trump's, the words he uses, make America great again.
Yes.
So he wants to take care of his home first, which in some ways is understandable. But it means that the previous United States that we knew, that was willing to provide, in some ways, selfless global leadership, is no longer around. There's going to be an America that puts American interests first, regardless whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump.
Right.
So we shouldn't focus on the personalities, but we should nonetheless try to continue working as closely as possible with the United States, because at the end of the day, if United States is not part of the solution, it's going to become part of the problem. United States is an indispensable power still in the world.
Professor Mehbubani, thank you so much for outlining your views on the Asian century and, of course, India's role in it in the decades and century to come. Thank you very much for joining me on the NDTV Dialogues. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live.
President Chhatrapati Murmu says powerful remain fearless after crimes. Victims live in fear, culprits roam free. Once again, President in fact speaks about crime against women. In Kerala, Me Too scam in the entire scandal now. Under scanner, CPM MLA faces fresh charges after rape case, assault charge against MLA Mukesh. Minister Muralidharan says shame that the government is protecting the MLA. It's Uddhav Thackeray versus Eknath Shinde on the Shivaji statue. Uddhav Thackeray says Prime Minister's apology reeks of arrogance. Shinde hits back, says Uddhav Thackeray was sent home 2 years ago. Rain continues to create havoc in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Heavy rain triggers floods and landslides. 8 killed in Andhra Pradesh. Telangana is also on high alert. Good evening and welcome to NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. President Draupadi Murmu has spoken on justice, in fact, being delayed and has also made a very important point on the judiciary and the criminal jurisprudence of the country. The president, in fact, has said that the cops, judiciary and government must work together. The powerful roam around fearlessly. President also said victims live in fear like culprits and delay in justice in rape cases is seen as insensitive. Meanwhile, the president also batted for speedy justice for all powerful to continue to roam around fearlessly. And the president said that there should be, in fact, fast-track courts as far as the crime against women are concerned. She said poor get nervous when they go to court for justice, and this should change.
एविडेंस और विटनेसेस से जुड़े मुद्दों पर न्यायपालिका, सरकार और पुलिस प्रशासन को मिलजुल कर समाधान निकालना चाहिए। कुछ मामले में साधन संपन्न लोग अपराध करने के बाद भी निर्भीक और निश्चोत घूमते रहते हैं। जो लोग उनके अपराधों से पीड़ित होते हैं वे डरे से में रहते हैं मानो उन्हीं बेचारों ने कई अपराध कर दिया है। महिला पीड़िताओं की स्थिति और भी खराब होती है क्योंकि प्रायः समाज के लोग भी उनके साथ नहीं देते। हम लोग व्हाइट कोट हाइपरटेंशन के बारे में जानते हैं और सुनते हैं। बहुत से लोगों का ब्लड प्रेशर हॉस्पिटल का वातावरण में बढ़ जाता है। मुझे लगता है कि इसी तरह सामान्य व्यक्ति का तनाव कोर्ट कचहरी के वातावरण में भी बढ़ जाता है। इसका अध्ययन करके इस स्थिति को शायद ब्लैक कोट सिंड्रोम का नाम दिया जा सकता है। जो बलात्कार जैसे जघन्य अपराध के मामले में न्यायालय के निर्णय एक पीढ़ी के गुजर जाने के बाद आते हैं तो सामान्य व्यक्ति को लगता है कि न्याय प्रक्रिया में संवेदनशीलता कम है। भगवान के घर देर है लेकिन अंधेरा नहीं। लेकिन देर कितने दिन तक, कितना देर हो सकता है? 32 साल, 12 साल, 20 साल, 10 साल? हम लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। तब तक जिसको न्याय मिलेगा 32 साल के बाद शायद उनके चेहरे से मुस्कान ही खत्म हो जाएगा। गांव का गरीब आदमी कोर्ट कचहरी जाने से डरता है और बहुत मजबूरी से ही अदालत की न्याय प्रक्रिया में भागीदार बनता है। उसके लिए एक बार गांव से दूर अदालत तक जाना ही बहुत बड़े मानसिक और आर्थिक दबाव का कारण बन जाता है। ऐसी स्थिति में बार बार तारीख देने यानी स्थगन की संस्कृति अर्थात कल्चर ऑफ एडजर्नमेंट से गरीब लोगों को जो कष्ट होता है उसकी कल्पना भी बहुत से लोग नहीं कर पाते।
Meanwhile, expressing his concern over women's safety with respect to the Kolkata rape and murder case, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has also spoken. He has said humanity has been shamed. The VP has said what happened on 9th August was not just an incident, barbarity expressed in extremity, shaming humanity. Victims belong to a category that is devoted to saving lives, and democratic values are defined by the respect we have for women.
For the first time in my life, I am totally drained out. It took me a lot of courage to come to this place. But I could not have left the land of gods without being accountable before you all. On August 9, 2024 was not an incident, not a culpable act. It was barbarity expressed in extremity, shaming humanity, and the victim happened to be from a category, a class that is ever devoted to saving lives.
Meanwhile, controversy continues and politics speaks on Mollywood Me Too, in fact, allegations. Now, JP Nadda, BJP President and Union Minister, has questioned the Kerala government and has said why there was delay to release the Hema Committee report. Nadda has also alleged that the Kerala government is complicit in the Me Too controversy and has also, in fact, attacked the left government. Meanwhile, the Congress also picking side and attacking the government in Kerala and said Kerala government is protecting the accused.
Why the delay in the justice to the Hema Committee report? What is stopping them? The Hema Committee report? What stops you? What is haunting you? Because you are part and parcel of that. Something you want to hide.
Day of the election, I said there are unholy nexus between CPM in Kerala and the BJP. So the LDF convener met Prakash Javadekar, who is in charge of Prabhari of the Kerala BJP. Why? And Chief Minister protected Jayarajan and said that I also met Prakash Javadekar many times. Why? Why the Chief Minister of Kerala? He is a Politburo member Kerala. Why he met the Prakash Javadekar? He is not a central minister. He is only the Prabhari of the Kerala BJP. Why? For what purpose?
Meanwhile, trouble mounts for CPM MLA Mukesh in the Kerala Me Too allegations. In fact, the CPM MLA has now been booked in a new assault case. This is the second case which has been filed against the MLA in Thrissur. Now, accused actor and MLA, there was already a rape, in fact, case which was registered against him, now an assault case as well. The incident allegedly took place in 2011. Meanwhile, superstar Rajinikanth has spoken, in fact, on the Hema Committee report, and he says he does not know about that report. In fact, when Rajinikanth was asked about his comments, he tried to play diplomatic and said that there should be a probe as far as the question was, in fact, whether there should be a probe of Kerala-like incidents in the Tamil film industry as well.
தொடர்ந்து தமிழ் திரையுலகுக்கும் ஹேமா கமிட்டி அமைக்க சொல்லி நிறைய பேர் வலியுறுத்துறாங்க. ஹேமா கமிட்டி மலையாளம்
எனக்கு தெரியாதுங்க, அதை பத்தி தெரியாது, சாரி.
Former AICC member and PSC member Simi Rosebell John was expelled from the primary membership of the Congress party. The KPCC General Secretary M. Liju informed the KPCC President K. Sudhakaran has taken the action in the regard. In fact, Simi Rosebell John was allegedly making controversial remarks against Congress women leaders. Yesterday, Simi had made some allegations in Kochi. Only those close to the leadership get opportunities in the party, and there is a situation similar to casting couch happening in the Congress party. Let me go across to my colleague Ishika, who is joining us live with more details from Kerala. Ishika, now these are allegations which need to be backed. In fact, these are very serious allegations that the Congress leader, who's now in fact has been expelled, has made. Does she have some proof to back it? Is there going to be some investigation as far as these allegations are concerned? All right, I think Ishika possibly cannot hear us. We'll try and rectify that line and go back to her. This is important news coming in. Very serious allegations were made by a member of the Kerala Congress, and now at this moment, in fact, she stands expelled from the party. Simi Rosebell had criticized the party leaders in an interview, and now action has been taken by the party. Now, question remains whether she is going to back these allegations by some proof or possibly register an FIR, because if this indeed is true, then of course it once again shows systematic rot, not only just in films but politics as well. But sensational comments being made there, where the Congress has now reacted to it and has expelled the leader. In Maharashtra, politics speaks over the Shivaji statue collapse. It's agitation versus agitation in Maharashtra. Uddhav Thackeray has said that the apology of the Prime Minister reeks of arrogance. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has hit back at his former party colleague. In fact, Chief Minister Shinde has said 2 years ago, citizens told Uddhav Thackeray to get out. He was sent home. Now, this, remember, as the Maha Vikas Aghadi, in fact, continued their protest from the Uttama Chowk to the Gateway of India in protest of the statue which was inaugurated by Prime Minister last year. The opposition says that this is corruption peaking under the Eknath Shinde his chief ministership. Now, there have been counter rallies which have been planned. 12 Maharashtra districts Congress, in fact, has also hit out at the BJP over the statue collapse and says Mughal couldn't do it, but the Mahayuti did by the statue which was shattered and which fell down.
आपण हे जे काही ठिकाण निवडलेले आहेत छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराज आहेत आणि गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया म्हणजे आपल्या देशाचा प्रवेशद्वार आज या तिथे छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांच्या साक्षीने हे जे शिवद्रोही सरकार आपल्या महाराष्ट्रामध्ये बेकायदेशीरित्या घटना बाह्य पद्धतीने बसलेलं आहे त्यांना आपण सांगितलं पाहिजे गेट आउट ऑफ इंडिया गेट आउट ऑफ इंडिया आणि म्हणूनच आम्ही इथे जमलेलो आहोत.
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज ये हमारे लिए राजकीय मुद्दा नहीं हो सकता है, ये हमारे लिए अस्मिता और श्रद्धा का विषय है. लेकिन हुई ये घटना वो दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, वो दुर्दैवी है, दुखद है, लेकिन उसकी राजनीति करना उससे ज़्यादा दुखद है, दुर्दैवी है. वो आज विपक्ष कर रहे हैं. मैंने अभी वीडियो दिखाया है, ये कर्नाटक का वीडियो है. उसमें छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज जी का प्रतिमा वो तोड़ने के लिए 2-2 जेसीबी लाए गए और वो स्टैचू उखाड़ दिया. अब ये कौन सा है? अब उनको इन्होंने जोड़ा मारना चाहिए, उनको चप्पल से मारना चाहिए.
प्रधानमंत्री आए, आप सबके दबाव से माफी मांगी, लेकिन किस तरह की माफी? जैसे कोई पत्थर मार रहा हो ऐसी माफी. कभी हमने ऐसी माफी सुनी नहीं. जिस तरह का गुस्से से माफी मांग रहे थे, जैसे पता नहीं क्या एहसान कर रहे हैं महाराष्ट्र जनता पर. और जो काम मुगल नहीं कर पाए, उनको तोड़ने की कोशिश मुगलों ने की, नहीं कर पाए, वो इन बेईमानों ने कर दिया. मैं इनको बेईमान इसलिए कहता हूं कि कहीं तो कुछ तो छोड़ देते. इसमें भी भ्रष्टाचार.
All right, with that, we're slipping into a very short break. News and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Allegations of sexual harassment, assault, molestation leveled by top actors of the Malayalam film industry have spiraled into an all too familiar Me Too movement.
You know, we have such dirty places to work in. We would not even have changing rooms. Most of the men have videos of women changing in the caravan.
I remember when Tanushree came out with her story. Initially, everyone was just calling it a publicity stunt.
Why does our society continue to uphold a patriarchal mindset?
When you start punishing them, when they know that they cannot get away with it, is when things will actually change.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come donate.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
The Himalayan state of Sikkim, which has been withstanding the perils of climate change, has started first of its kind fortnight-long study to evaluate the volume, depth and longitudinal profile of 6 high-risk glacial lakes in Sikkim, being conducted at the behest of the National Disaster Management Authority. The Glacial Lake Susceptibility Assessment Study will help characterize the physical dimensions of lakes using a bathymetry survey. Now, and help prepare better for glacial lake outburst-induced floods like last year that wreaked havoc in Sikkim.
A step towards the right direction, a first-of-its-kind expedition to assess the susceptibility of glacial lakes to outburst floods in the high Himalayas.
We're doing all the PRA, preparation of this hazard mapping and all, so that people are made aware of how to save themselves as well as their communities.
We are mainly doing a variety of studies, things like slope forming material study, geophysical survey.
The 15-day expedition that would end on September 14 will focus on 6 high-risk glacial lakes of Sikkim. A glacial lake outburst flood in Sikkim in October last year led to the collapse of the Tista 3 hydroelectric dam, killed more than 100 people and affected thousands of others. Last year's massive flood in Sikkim and the kind of death toll had perhaps shaken the authorities from their long slumber. The National Disaster Management Authority, or the NDMA, has identified 189 high-risk glacial lakes in the Indian Himalayas and launched a 150 crore rupees program for risk mitigation, including monitoring and early warning systems. Work is in progress in Arunachal Pradesh, near the line of actual control with China. Sikkim also has some critical glacial lakes near the China border. Initially, the Sikkim government had planned to survey the Guru Dongmon lakes, which have a combined estimated volume of 178 million cubic meters. However, these plans have been postponed due to the local opposition, as the lakes are considered sacred.
So Guru Dogma, there are 3 lakes actually. When you go for darshan, you see only 1 lake. There are 2 lakes above that. So that lake has been kept on hold right now because we got input from Lachen Zumsa that these are amongst the most sacred lakes of Sikkim.
It's multi-departmental, multi-institutional effort that is taking place. A lot of time was spent on training and planning for this. The expedition's finding will contribute to a comprehensive understanding of glacial lake outburst floods risks and inform future mitigation effort. In Guwahati, Ratndeep Chaudhary for NDTV.
Meanwhile, Chennai is hosting South Asia's first Formula 4 night street racing in the heart of the city around the island grounds and marina. This evening, in fact, Chennai is the 14th city to hold Formula 4 racing globally and the 5th city to host the night racing.
Is now the #1 champion in the Formula 4 day racing. Diljit TS, congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels amazing to win the first ever race in the street circuit of Chennai, and it was an amazing experience driving on the streets of Chennai, and it's a very tricky, challenging circuit. It's a fun circuit.
I watched it live. You had established a comfortable lead in the last few laps.
Yeah, the first initial laps, I was just keeping it very clean. Nathan was leading it the first couple of laps, and I was just waiting for the right moment. I was just watching him and just focusing on where he is doing, and just want to utilize the maximum of it, and just waiting for the right moment. And I just did it in C5, and yeah, I mean, it was a great fight along with him, even though he had a great straight line speed, which I was lacking. And but I had an advantage of brake advantages, as well as the speed through the corners. I was able to carry more speed through the corners compared to him, so that clearly shows better handling in my car and better braking.
Unlike other racing, here regular city roads are turned into racing tracks. You don't get to really race early. Is that a challenge?
Yes, definitely a challenge, because on the racetrack we'll have more grip. On a street circuit like this, it's a normal asphalt and it doesn't have so much grip, and it's all dirty and dusty because it was a normal road. It wasn't the circuit, so the rubber content on the circuit is very less. So it's always tricky to drive on a slippery circuit, and that's the only challenging part.
First of its kind, night street racing in India and South Asia. What does it mean for motorsports in India and Chennai?
It means a lot, not just for Chennai. It means a lot for the Indian motorsport. Sponsors or the organizers like RPPL or JK Tire, as well as FMSCI, which is supporting the sport and trying to bring the sport more people getting involved in the sport. So it's definitely it's great development for motorsport in India.
You're getting married in 3 days and you're participating in this race.
Yes, I really would like to thank my fiancée and my parents for allowing me to take part in the championship. All of you know, motorsport is very dangerous, but they really trust me, and I'm also a bit more focused, not to make any silly mistakes and to be up in the walls. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Diljit. That was Diljit, who has won the Formula 4 championship in Chennai just 3 days before he gets married. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
President Draupadi Murmu says powerful remain fearless after crimes and victims live in fear, calls for fast-track justice for all. Under scanner, CPM MLA faces fresh charges after a rape case, assault charge against MLA Mukesh. It's war of words between Uddhav Thackeray and Chief Minister Eknath Shinde on the Shivaji statue collapse. Uddhav Thackeray says Prime Minister's apology reeks of arrogance. Meanwhile, Shinde hits back, says Uddhav Thackeray was sent home 2 years back. Rain continues to create havoc in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Heavy rains trigger floods and landslides. 8 killed in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV.
Hello and welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Mugdha Mishra. Let's first see what's on the show today. We compare Royal Enfield Guerrilla Hero Maverick and Triumph Speed 400. Detailed walk around of Aston Martin Vantage. A closer look at Maserati Gran Turismo. a small chat with Matteo Ortenzi, product line head, Lamborghini Revuelto. First up, King Shukdatta compares Royal Enfield Guerrilla, Hero Maverick and Triumph Speed 400 to find out which one is best suited for you.
Triumph, Royal Enfield and Hero Motocorp. Till a couple of years ago, these brands had nothing in common. But today, the story is different and more importantly, interesting.
I never thought I would see the day when a Hero, a Triumph and a Royal Enfield will go head to head. Well, that's what makes this comparison so interesting. We have the Guerrilla 450, the Speed 400 and the Maverick 440. Three sub 500cc modern classic motorcycles with a touch of retro design and offering different flavors or not. Well, that's what we are here to find out. With the three motorcycles parked together, I know which one I like the best. It has to be the Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450. Why? I'll tell you. Because amongst all these three motorcycles, this looks slightly bigger, has better presence, and these nice, bold, beautiful colors make it stand out. And not to forget, these chunky tires, which are the biggest on any motorcycle made by an Indian brand. The Guerrilla 450 feels more youthful and bold. Now we come to the Speed 400. Yes, it is athletic, it has a very svelte design, but it has a diminutive presence. It is smaller, but these nice wide handlebars with these bar and mirrors add to that premium look and feel of the motorcycle. And lastly, we go to the Maverick 440. It has the most sedate design of them all, but it does manage to stand out amongst these three motorcycles here. So which one do you like the best in terms of design? Do let us know in the comments below.
The Guerrilla is a bit rough around the edges when it comes to fit and finish. The gap between the headlight and its nacelle sticks out like a sore thumb. The rest of it is more or less similar to the Himalayan in terms of quality. The Hero Maverick has decent quality too. The one design element common to all motorcycles is the round headlight, a trademark of modern classic motorcycles. Among the three, it is only the Triumph which gets a USD fork, and the Maverick, it gets twin shock absorbers at the rear, while the other two get a monoshock.
Now the Speed 400 is the lightest of them all at 176 kg, and the seat height is a very manageable 790 millimeters. Well, this feels very nice. The seating position is very comfortable. You sit upright with a hint of sportiness, and yes, this will do very well on urban commutes, and in case you want to go touring, the seat itself is very plush. Now we'll move to the Guerrilla 450, which is the heaviest of them all, and the seat height is quite low, the lowest at 780 millimeters. But you feel the heft and weight of this motorcycle, and dragging it out of a parking spot is going to be bothersome. But overall, the one thing which I did not like is its ergonomics. The riding position is somewhat confused. It is not exactly sporty, but it tries to be. So it's neither here nor there. The foot pegs are slightly rearward set, but the handlebar makes you go forward slightly. So it's a confused sort of a rider triangle. On urban commutes, it's not going to be a problem, but if you want to go long distance touring with this bike, then you may find it to be bothersome. And lastly, let's go on to the Maverick 440. It has the tallest seat height at 803 millimeters, and the weight is between the Speed 400 and the Guerrilla 450. It has a very plush seat, very comfortable riding position, and if you are shorter also, if your height is below 5'6", I am 5'8", so even if you are below 5'8", if you are 5'6" or shorter, this bike is not going to be a problem for you. It feels nice, the rider triangle feels very neutral and comfortable. So yes, amongst all these three motorcycles here, the Speed 400 has the best seating position according to me.
On paper, the Guerrilla has the best engine output, with the Triumph breathing down its neck. The Hero is significantly behind in terms of engine output, but it makes up by being the easiest to ride and live with. Massive after-sales network, relatively cheaper spares and decent efficiency make the Maverick easy to recommend. Triumph is also ramping up its dealership network with more than 100 of them across the country functional now. Royal Enfield too has a solid dealership and after-sales service network, especially in remote areas.
Right, let's talk about the performance of all three motorcycles. Now, straight off the bat, the Triumph Speed 400 feels peppy, light, engaging, and it's the best fit to ride in urban chaos. The engine feels very engaging. It has a very sharp response, and the clutch action is very light, and the gear shifts are very slick too. Not to mention, the engine itself is butter smooth. But if we talk about the Royal Enfield, well, it has an anemic reaction before the rev needle hits 3000 rpm. The moment you cross that mark, the engine comes into its own with loads of torque, a stronger response, a sharper pace, and you really enjoy riding this motorcycle. But one sore sticking point is the fact that there are pronounced vibrations between 4500 and 5500 rpm. So if you're riding this motorcycle between 95 and 115 kilometers per hour, you'll feel those vibrations, which will get you in some time, not immediately. But yes, apart from that, the motorcycle, the pull in the mid-range is really strong. And lastly, we talk about the Maverick 440. Well, it has all the good qualities of the Harley Davidson X440. That's right, the engine is very tractable after 3000 rpm, and in the third gear you can pull cleanly from 30 kilometers per hour to 100 kilometers per hour. That makes it very easy to ride in the urban environment. For newcomers, for new riders, the Maverick 440 is the best bet and feels very good and practical. Now let's talk about the ride and handling of all these three motorcycles, starting with the Maverick 440. Now, this motorcycle feels nice and agile around the corner, but it feels best when you don't push it and ride calmly. The grip from the tires is not exactly great. If you want to ride sedately in the city, then these tires work fine. But if you want to ride aggressively, then we suggest you switch the tires to something grippier. Apart from that, the one great point that this motorcycle has is the fact that it has the most comfiest ride quality of the lot, despite having the least amount of suspension travel. So that's another advantage in its books. And this also feels very flickable and agile when hustling through traffic as well. So that's another good part of the Maverick 440. The Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450 gets the chunkiest tires of the lot, and yes, it is also the heaviest and has the longest wheelbase, which means that this motorcycle is really stable at high speeds. The grip from the tires on dry tarmac is really good, very grippy, but in the wet, you will feel the motorcycle slipping and sliding around, so you have to be very careful and watchful of where you ride the bike. Well, the Royal Enfield also has the stiffest suspension of the lot, and as long as there's a smooth ribbon of tarmac, you can ride it enthusiastically in the city and on the highway as well. But if there are broken patches of road, then you'll feel the jolts up your spine. But the Speed 400, with its sharper steering, shorter wheelbase and lighter weight, makes for a fantastic corner carving machine. Whether you take it out on switchbacks or hustle it through traffic, you'll really enjoy riding the motorcycle, and this bike makes you feel really good and confident around the corner and wants you to push this bike to the best of your ability, right? And in terms of ride quality, this feels plusher than the Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450.
There is no doubt that the Royal Enfield wins in terms of features. The 4-inch TFT Tripper Dash continues to get integrated Google Maps along with good readouts. The Maverick 440, it too gets Bluetooth connectivity on its negative LCD unit with turn-by-turn navigation, but the display could have been bigger and legibility under sunny conditions could be a problem. The Speed 400 gets an old school part digital part analog console with no connectivity options whatsoever. All three bikes get LED headlights, and the Royal Enfield and the Triumph also get a slip and assist clutch, which the Maverick misses out on. The Maverick 440 is the most affordable motorcycle here, with prices starting from 1,99,000 rupees and going up to 2,24,000 rupees. The Triumph Speed 400 is offered in just one variant, priced at 2,23,000 rupees, with a 10,000 rupees discount already put on. And the Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450 is the most expensive of them all, with prices starting at 2,39,000 rupees and going up to 2,54,000 rupees.
Looking at it objectively and comparing the performance, features, pricing and the overall packaging, the Triumph Speed 400 comes out on top. Solid performance, really aggressive pricing and fantastic quality. Not to mention, the Triumph badge adds to the desirability quotient.
We will slip into a short break, but you don't go anywhere, because after the break we will bring you some really exciting cars, and one of them is a Maserati.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV Auto Show. There were some really exciting launches this week on Indian market. Let's take a look.
Not every day that a new Aston Martin is launched in the country, but it is the big and special day today because the all new generation of the Aston Martin Vantage is here. And the prices start at Rs 3.99 crores ex-showroom with a lot of optional extras. Aesthetics, and I have to say it looks very much like an Aston Martin. A familiar design language is what you are seeing here. On the front, the bumper is all new. It gets a larger grille now. This carbon fiber splitter or the lip spoiler that you're seeing here, it is an optional extra. On the standard car, you'll get it in a body colored or piano black format, whatever you choose. And a similar treatment will be followed on the side skirt. Talking of these headlamps, they are matrix LED unit with a very crisp LED DRL structure. It gets functional air vents and these muscular prominent hood lines. Over to the side, I'll show you that it now gets 21-inch aluminum forged rims. Now another clean addition to the Vantage are these doors. Now they open in a slightly tilted fashion, and I believe this is done so that your partner is not able to hit them to a curb. Now this roof line, it slopes down in a very seductive fashion, and this rear wheel arch, it gives a very squat stance to the car. Now this ducktail spoiler-like effect on the rear looks very seductive, I have to say. And now talking of practicality, after all, it's a GT. You get a 366 liters of trunk volume. Now under the hood of the Aston Martin Vantage, what you're getting is a Mercedes-sourced 4-liter V8, and it's a twin turbocharged unit and puts out 665 PS against 800 Newton meters of max torque. Now it's a front engine car, but it is 50-50 bias. So the weight distribution is exactly 50-50 because this car is also getting an electronic differential that can kick in at a speed of just 150 milliseconds. Well, the Vantage can do 0 to 100 sprint in just 3.5 seconds, and the top speed is at 325 kmph. For suspension, for a superior handling, you're getting 21-inch forged alloy wheels with Michelin tires. These are specifically developed for the Vantage. These are Sport S5. For the brakes, you can opt for carbon ceramic rotors as well, and the case is the same for the calipers too. Talking of suspension, it is Bilstein DTX's active dampers. We're finally inside the Aston Martin Vantage. Now this interior layout, it is revised and it now comes in a 2-seat configuration. And along with that, there are a lot more changes over here. First of all, you're getting a 10.25-inch touchscreen display here, and along with that, it now has the addition of a new instrument cluster, which is all digital unit. Now the interior is wrapped in leather, so what you're getting is a balance of sportiness and luxury. And coming down to the steering wheel, it gets a lot of functions, and I think this shares part bin with some of the Mercedes-Benz cars. And these steering mounted pedal shifters, as I said, steering mounted, they're now fixed to the steering and not to the column, which was the case earlier. और हमारे साथ है मासेराती ग्रैंड टूरिस्मो. इसको इंडिया में फाइनली लॉन्च कर दिया गया है और गाड़ी काफ़ी ज़्यादा आला दिखती है, काफ़ी आकर्षक दिखती है. एक आपको स्पोर्ट्स कूप जैसा यहाँ पर सिलुएट मिलेगा. ग्रैंड टूरिंग कार है. क्या कुछ खास है इसमें वो हम जानेंगे इस वीडियो में, तो अंत तक बने रहिए. ग्रिल है दैट इज़ ट्रेडिशनल मासेराती with a trident logo, and these vertical headlamps is what you get on the new Gran Turismo. Now Maserati is also highlighting another point here, that this car is derived out of a Formula 1 car. अब इस बात को वो लोग कैसे प्रूव करते हैं? वेल, उनका कहना है कि जो आपको बॉनेट पर लाइंस मिलती हैं, ये जो पावर बल्जेस मिलते हैं, ये एक फार्मूला 1 कार से इंस्पायर्ड है, जहाँ पर बीच में इंजन रखा गया है और इस साइड में फेंडर्स और वर्टिकल हेडलैम्प्स ऐड किए गए हैं ताकि एक फार्मूला 1 कार को लीगल बनाया जा सके. खैर, डिज़ाइन के रूप में ये काफ़ी अच्छे लगते हैं, बट क्विंटेसेंशियली ये एक अच्छा अमेलगम है परफॉर्मेंस और कंफर्ट का. काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रीमियम लगती है गाड़ी. आप साइड की ओर देखेंगे तो फ्रंट में आपको 20-इंच अलॉय व्हील्स मिलते हैं. डिज़ाइन काफ़ी ज़्यादा बिजी है, बट इट लुक्स एलिगेंट नॉनदलेस. थोड़ा आप पीछे आएंगे तो आपको ग्रैंड टूरिज्मो के ट्रेडिशनल 3 वेंट्स मिलते हैं. फंक्शनल है और एक कैरेक्टर ज़रूर देते हैं गाड़ी को. एंड एज द रूफ लाइन स्लोप्स डाउन टुवर्ड्स द बूट, वहाँ पर भी आपको काफ़ी चौड़े फेंडर मिलते हैं जो एक स्क्वाट स्टांस देते हैं ग्रैंड टूरिज्मो को. और मेरे ओपिनियन में ये डिज़ाइन काफ़ी ज़्यादा एलिगेंट है और बखूबी स्पोर्टी भी लगता है. सो पीछे का डिज़ाइन भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा क्लासी रखा गया है, लेकिन स्पोर्टीनेस का आपको एक परफेक्ट बैलेंस ज़रूर मिलेगा. जैसे आप देख सकते हैं, क्वाड एग्जॉस्ट टिप्स मिलती हैं. पियानो ब्लैक का इस्तेमाल किया गया है, बट अगेन ऑल ऑफ दिस इज़ ऑप्शनल एंड कस्टमाइजेबल. बूट की बात करी जाए तो यहाँ पर आपको डक टेल स्पॉइलर जैसा इफ़ेक्ट ज़रूर देखने को मिल जाता है और ये डिज़ाइन में 4 चांद ज़रूर लगा देता है. क्योंकि जीटी कार है तो काफ़ी प्रैक्टिकल बूट स्पेस भी दिया गया है. ग्राउंड क्लियरेंस हालांकि दूसरी जीटीज़ के मुकाबले मुझे थोड़ी सी कम लगी. अब चलते हैं इसके अंदर और जानते हैं वहाँ क्या कुछ मिलता है. बट उससे पहले मैं आपको बता दूं कि जो इसका शार्क फिन एंटेना है उसमें एक कैमरा दिया गया है, और ये आपका रिवर्स कैमरा नहीं है. ये कैमरा दिया गया है ताकि आप इसके IRVM में एक पीछे का व्यू देख सके. थोड़ा बहुत लैंड रोवर इंस्पायर्ड ये दिखाई देता है. तो जीटी कार्स के भीतर बैठना थोड़ा मुश्किल ज़रूर हो सकता है. आखिर ज़मीन से काफ़ी ज़्यादा जुड़ के जो चलती हैं ये कारें. अब बात करते हैं इंटीरियर की, तो आप काफ़ी लो स्लंग पोजीशन में बैठते हैं. स्टीयरिंग व्हील आपको एकदम लेदर रैप्ड मिल जाता है और मासेराती के कुछ की हाइलाइट्स यहाँ पर आपको दिखेंगे, जैसे कि एक एनालॉग क्लॉक. इसको डैशबोर्ड के सेंटर में माउंट किया गया है. एक टच स्क्रीन मिल जाता है अच्छा खासा बड़ा, और यहाँ पर टच एनेबल्ड डिस्प्ले मिलता है बाकी ऑपरेशंस के लिए। कार्बन फाइबर डिज़ाइन का काफ़ी इस्तेमाल आपको सेंटर कंसोल में देखने को मिलेगा और मुझे ये सेंटर कंसोल का कवर काफ़ी पसंद आया। इट हैज़ दैट बटरफ्लाई इफ़ेक्ट फॉर द ओपनिंग। उसी के साथ आपको ये हीटेड कप होल्डर्स मिल जाते हैं। सेंटर कंसोल में भी ठीक ठाक स्पेस मिल जाता है। आपको टाइप ए और टाइप सी चार्जिंग पोर्ट्स मिलेंगे। साउंड सिस्टम के मामले में आपको सोनस फेबर का एक प्रीमियम साउंड सिस्टम मिलता है। सीट्स आपको लेदर रैप्ड मिलती हैं और काफ़ी स्नक फिट स्पोर्ट्स सीट हैं ये, और लेदर का भरपूर इस्तेमाल दिखाई देगा, जो कि बताता है कि कार सिर्फ परफॉर्मेंस नहीं बल्कि कंफर्ट और प्रीमियमनेस के लिए भी डिज़ाइन की गई है। हेड अप डिस्प्ले भी आपको मिलता है यहाँ पर, लेकिन वो ऑप्शनल रखा गया है। हालांकि क्रेटा में आपको टॉप वेरिएंट्स में स्टैंडर्ड मिल जाता है। जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट क्लस्टर है वो भी एक ऑल डिजिटल यूनिट है और यहाँ पर कोई सनरूफ भी आपको देखने को मिलेगी नहीं, क्योंकि ये गाड़ी डिज़ाइन की गई है परफॉर्मेंस के लिए। रेयर सीट्स भी हैं, तो यानी 2+2 सीटिंग लेआउट है। मासेराती का कहना है कि 6 फीट के 4 लोग गाड़ी के केबिन में आराम से आ सकते हैं, बट मुझे लगता है पीछे की सीट्स पर बच्चे ही खुश रह पाएंगे। बट वहाँ पर भी आपको कप होल्डर्स, USB चार्जिंग पोर्ट्स, AC वेंट्स और 3 पॉइंट सीट बेल्ट्स मिल जाते हैं। So now when we're talking about powertrain, we have to pop up the hood of the Maserati Gran Turismo. Well, this clamshell hood, इसके नीचे आपको मिलता है एक 3 लीटर का V6 इंजन, 90 डिग्री V6 है। इस इंजन का नाम दिया गया है नेट्यूनो। ये मासेराती का खुद का डेवलप किया हुआ इंजन है और आपको 2 स्टेट ऑफ ट्यून्स में मिलता है। अगर आप लेते हैं मॉडर्ना तो थोड़ा सा सबलाइम्ड है, वहाँ पर आपको 490 हॉर्स पावर और 600 न्यूटन मीटर का टॉर्क मिल जाता है। अगर आप ट्रॉफियो लेते हैं तो वहाँ पर आपको 550 हॉर्स पावर और 650 न्यूटन मीटर का टॉर्क मिल जाता है। टॉप स्पीड की बात करी जाए तो ट्रॉफियो वेरिएंट में 320 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की टॉप स्पीड मिलती है और 0 से 100 की रफ्तार जो ट्रॉफियो वेरिएंट है वो 3.5 सेकेंड्स में पकड़ लेता है। मॉडर्ना थोड़ा सा स्लो है, यानी कि आपको कुछ सेकेंड ज़्यादा लगेंगे। 0 to 100 3.2 सेकेंड्स में ये गाड़ी अचीव कर लेती है। 8 स्पीड का आपको एक गियर बॉक्स मिल जाता है। इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है, मासेराती का कहना है दैट द वेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज़ मोर बैलेंस फॉर हैंडलिंग। आपको एक 52:48 का वेट बैलेंस मिलता है, यानी थोड़ी सी मास फॉरवर्ड आपको ये गाड़ी मिलेगी इन टर्म्स ऑफ वेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। बट ये इंजन फ्रंट एक्सल के पीछे लगाया गया है और सस्पेंशन के बारे में अगर मैं आपको बताऊं तो आपको एक्टिव डैम्पर्स मिलते हैं। एंड मासेराती इज़ ऑल्सो सेइंग कि जो फ्रंट डिफरेंशियल है वो रेयर डिफरेंशियल के एकदम स्ट्रेट लाइन में रखा गया है फॉर बेटर परफॉर्मेंस एंड हैंडलिंग। While I'm closing this hood back, you can have a quick look at the design and you can see that you sit inside the car rather than sitting over it, and that makes for a great combination of handling with design. तो बात करते हैं कीमत की, तो जो मॉडर्ना वेरिएंट है वो 2.72 करोड़ पे उसकी प्राइसिंग रखी गई है और जो ट्रॉफियो वेरिएंट है वो लगभग 2,90,00,000 रुपए का आपको मिलेगा। और उसी के साथ मैं आपको बता दूं ये गाड़ी फेरारी की रोमा, पोर्शा 911, एस्टन मार्टिन वेंटेज जैसी गाड़ियों से एक मुकाबला करेगी।
Focus on Indian super luxury car market continues as we speak to Matteo Ortenzi of Lamborghini.
Well, there were some things that we wanted even to improve comparing the Aventador, but that were already in our, let's say, background, no? The luxury feeling, the fact and the feeling that you are driving and watching at a special car that we had already with Aventador, and it's even more now with Revuelto. Then there was the challenge of the new world, no? How to combine the electric power with the thermal engines. And this was a matter of really balancing the car, find the right spot, the right balance between all the power we have. And thanks to this, we were able to provide an easy car. So some customers were asking how to drive a 1,000 horsepower car, no? Also comparing the Aventador that had 200 horsepower less at the end of their career. They are very, very positively surprised how easy it is to drive this car. So I think one of the targets we have to enhance the driving dynamics and to give the feeling of driving a light car, it was achieved because the feedback we are receiving are very, very positive on that. Well, Lamborghini is not having single products for single markets. So we have one car that is worldwide. But I think in this very specific niche, customers are very similar in the different markets. For sure, we are learning a lot from China, from India. I really believe India is one of the big potential we have. I had the opportunity to be the Asia Pacific CEO until 2020, and I was believing that India could go over the 100 units, and now it's reality. When we started, we were far, far away. So I really saw the potential of the market. I'm sure this will be not the end of the story, and you will grow even more. So we are really taking consideration in an important way how these markets are important for us. But we are not at the moment adapting the product. The product for us is the best you can provide in this segment, and this is the same needs that a Chinese or an Indian customer has comparing a US customer or European one. So on that we are not compromising trying to adapt a car to a market. We are providing maximum potential for our cars in the segment.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone. Stay.
The BJP chief questions the Kerala government over the Me Too row. JP Nadda says the left government is complicit in the Me Too rot. This as the left government is still silent on its MLA Mukesh despite a fresh case. Meanwhile, superstar Rajinikanth evades the question on Me Too. After the RG Kar horror, Bengal nurse is assaulted in Birbhum. A patient allegedly molests a nurse on duty. Meanwhile, a 13-year-old patient has allegedly been assaulted inside the Howrah hospital. Slugfest over the Shivaji statue collapse. Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray protest on the streets of Mumbai. Reeks of arrogance, says Uddhav Thackeray of the Prime Minister's apology. This as the BJP says the opposition is making Shivaji an election plank. 8 people have died in the Vijayawada landslides in Andhra Pradesh. Meanwhile, a red alert for both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Schools and colleges have been shut in Hyderabad. Hello and welcome. You're watching Left, Right and Centre, the weekend edition, and our big focus on the show this evening. More than 75 years of independence. Is real justice still a pipe dream, particularly for the poor and the marginalized? The President of the country, the head of India's judiciary, pointed out some pain points within our justice system that still need addressing. As nearly 4 crore cases lie pending before tribunals across the country, the rate of disposal in fast-track cases remains abysmally low. Not to mention India's perpetual travesty of the law turning against the downtrodden and favouring the powerful disproportionately. With the President's clarion call for justice for all on Left, Right and Centre this weekend, the justice delayed is justice denied debate. We ask, how do we reboot India's justice system? Well, before I bring in my panel, listen to what the President had to say.
जो बलात्कार जैसे जघन्य अपराध के मामले में न्यायालय के निर्णय एक पीढ़ी के गुजर जाने के बाद आते हैं तो सामान्य व्यक्ति को लगता है कि न्याय प्रक्रिया में संवेदनशीलता कम है। भगवान के घर देर है लेकिन अंधेरा नहीं। लेकिन देर कितने दिन तक, कितना देर हो सकता है? 32 साल, 12 साल, 20 साल, 10 साल? हम लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। तब तक जिसको न्याय मिलेगा 32 साल के बाद शायद उनके चेहरे से मुस्कान ही खत्म हो जाएगा। गांव का गरीब आदमी कोर्ट कचहरी जाने से डरता है। वो बहुत मजबूरी से ही अदालत की न्याय प्रक्रिया में भागीदार बनता है। उसके लिए एक बार गांव से दूर अदालत तक जाना ही बहुत बड़े मानसिक और आर्थिक दबाव का कारण बन जाता है। ऐसी स्थिति में बार बार तारीख देने यानी स्थगन की संस्कृति अर्थात कल्चर ऑफ एडजर्नमेंट से गरीब लोगों को जो कष्ट होता है उसकी कल्पना भी बहुत से लोग नहीं कर पाते। एविडेंस और विटनेसेस से जुड़े मुद्दों पर न्यायपालिका, सरकार और पुलिस प्रशासन को मिलजुल कर समाधान निकालना चाहिए। कुछ मामले में साधन संपन्न लोग अपराध करने के बाद भी निर्भीक और निश्चित घूमते रहते हैं। जो लोग उनके अपराधों से पीड़ित होते हैं वे डरे से में रहते हैं मानो उन्हीं विचारों ने कई अपराध कर दिया है। महिला पीड़िताओं की स्थिति और भी खराब होती है क्योंकि प्रायः समाज के लोग भी उनके साथ नहीं देते। हम लोग व्हाइट कोट हाइपरटेंशन के बारे में जानते हैं और सुनते हैं। बहुत से लोगों का ब्लड प्रेशर हॉस्पिटल का वातावरण में बढ़ जाता है। मुझे लगता है कि इसी तरह सामान्य व्यक्ति का तनाव कोर्ट कचहरी के वातावरण में भी बढ़ जाता है। इसका अध्ययन करके इस स्थिति को शायद ब्लैक कोट सिंड्रोम का नाम दिया जा सकता है।
And joining me on the show this evening, Dr. Shama Mohammed, National Spokesperson of the Congress. Mihira Sood, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, is also with us. Also, Abha Singh, a women's rights activist and also a former bureaucrat. Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP of Karnataka, is also with us. I'll also be joined by Shehzad Poonawala, spokesperson of the BJP. Going across to you first, Mihira Sood, break it down for us, the fundamental flaws of our justice system, given the fact that it took the President of the country, the head of our judiciary, to in a sense point out these pain points and these fault lines within our justice system. Where do we lack, given the fact that we have so many fast-track courts already, but cases continue to lie pending before them for years on end? Mihira Sood, go ahead. Okay, we seem to have an audio issue with Mihira Sood there. We'll try and fix that.
Now I can hear. Now I can hear you.
So my question to you was, break it down for us. Where do we lack? We have so many fast-track courts already, but cases lie pending before tribunals across the country for years on end. You know, fast-track justice still remains a pipe dream.
Sorry, please, can you move
All right,
on?
we'll try and
I
fix
think
that
they should
line.
fix
My
the
producers
audio.
can please urgently fix that line with Mihira Sood. But Abha Singh come in on this, because one must also approach this story from the victim's point of view, given the fact that, you know, survivors and victims' families in many cases continue to await justice for decades. We see, you know, high-profile accused getting bail, getting furlough repeatedly, and there is no intervention. Where do we lack, and what does it really mean for our victims and for the survivors' families? Because justice delayed, as the adage goes, is justice denied.
You know, I was hearing the president, and I'm happy that the president of this country has raised this important issue that it takes years and years to get justice in this country, 10 years. In fact, president is quoting a case of 32 years. And then on top of that, she says that the victims are harassed because she's right. We don't have something called a witness protection program in this country. Witnesses are threatened, victims are threatened, and that is why at the time of trial, they turn hostile. And she says that women victims are worse off. They land up with mental issues, health issues, because they don't get justice. Let me tell you, conviction rate in rape cases is barely 28-29%. And this is what the NCRB figures say. So when more than 70% of the rapists go scot-free, it really shows the justice system in poor light, that evidences are not there, the trial is slow, the victims are compromised, the witnesses turn hostile, the police is corrupt. So ultimately, it shows that there's something wrong with the justice system, in spite of strong laws like death penalty, in spite of the Criminal Amendment Act of 2013. After Nirbhaya, we've not been able to protect girls in this country. We have hashtags like Nirbhaya and Nirbhaya 2, which is a very sad state of affairs. And I think something really needs to be introspected upon. And we need a law commission to sit and only work on this in a time-bound manner, so that something actually comes out, rather than victims and families and supporters coming on the roads and doing dharnas.
That's right. In fact, to talk about the disposal rate, and if you look at the cases pending before the fast-track courts, before the POSCO courts, for example, the average disposal rate is abysmally low. It's 28 cases a day nationally, and that's really something that we need to fix urgently. But Sanjay Sahai come in on this point, because many a times it's said that, you know, justice and speedy justice can be assured only when there's a fair investigation and a fair probe. And so many times we see, particularly in high-profile cases, that the credibility and the sanctity of the investigation is compromised, particularly in high-profile cases.
There are two parts to the story. The first part, as you have already initiated, that it is of lack of quality education, quality investigation, which is leading to the nature of delay. Now, when it comes to quality education, quality investigation, so one should always think of the fact whether our investigators, our forensic ecosystem is competent enough to deliver the nature of investigation which is required. Take the case of the Calcutta case. Take the case of a Calcutta case. In the Calcutta case, what has happened with the scene of offense or the place of occurrence, I think it is nothing much is to be told beyond whatever is there in the public domain. So our level, I've worked in United Nations a couple of times. The way they secure their scene of occurrence and the way we secure our scene of occurrence and the time we take to put our forensic team in place and the clarity which they have, I think there is a world of difference between the two as it stands as of now. Second point is the quality of forensic team and the forensic examination available at the district level and below district level. See, what we generally talk about is the state level and the national capital level. And when there is a big crime, you will have to push people from the state capital and the national capital. That's point number 2. Point number 3, in United Nations, you will find specialized teams and specialized investigative agencies, even for missing persons. We used to have a missing persons unit in one of the United Nations missions. Here for specialized women and offences which have reached a level where it is becoming very, very shameful for a civilized society to accept. Still, we don't have specialized investigative teams as far as the crime against women and crime against children related in the same genre is created. Now this is where we are. Now from there, if you graduate to a foolproof investigation inclusive of technical evidence. Now here the technical evidence also means what we have picked up from the scene of offence.
Yes.
And if the scene of offence is tampered, unlike in any other case, that evidence is done away with because it does not reach the investigating agency.
In fact, that brings me to the point of political complicity. In fact, you raised several important points, Mr. Sahai, there, including the fact that while, of course, we talk about political will and we talk about a compromised investigation, are our investigative agencies equipped enough and competent enough? I think that's a very important point that you make there. But coming to the aspect of political complicity, and let me bring in our political spokespersons here. Shama Mohammed, going across to you first. This is something that we see across states, as we were discussing on an earlier debate as well, that very often there is political impunity. In fact, this is something that the President said today in her address as well, that the powerful go scot-free. For example, what we have seen in the state of West Bengal, an India bloc ally, and I don't want to politicize this debate at all, but the point I'm trying to make is that very often we see that there is no accountability when the accused happens to be well connected, particularly politically.
Yeah, so you just said India bloc ally. Let me tell you about Nirbhaya and what the UPA government or the Congress party, we brought the Criminal Amendment Act in 2013. We fast-tracked the case and we gave in the Delhi High Court is death by hanging. But what happened, it went to the next government. It took 5 years for them to hang the criminal. So let's understand that now if you want to politicize. Then you spoke about, the India ally there. What happened in Hathras? Who was cremated? No, let's go to all. See, I am standing for women and the rape victims. I do not want to politicize. But then I can bring in Hathras. What happened in Hathras? Kathua, we can go to Unnao. So we can go to all these where the BJP, they are all in BJP states. And I still remember what Yogi Adityanath said, Antarashtriya Shadyantra, international conspiracy. Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi arrived there, protested. It went to the CBI and CBI clearly said, it is a high-caste boy who raped and killed a Dalit girl. It was very clear what happened that day. So there was no Antarashtriya Shadyantra. Besides all this, what I want to say is as a woman, I live in Delhi. When I'm coming from Gurgaon, if I take the MG road and come towards my house in South Delhi, I do not see any police patrolling. Let me make it very clear. Hardly any police patrolling. Where do you see police patrolling? In Golf Links area, where all the members of parliament or Lodi estate or that area, you will see police patrolling. Number 2 is shoddy investigations. Because I can tell you a number of cases where the investigation, like the court goes against the evidence put out there. They never seal the area, whether it is Calcutta or whether it is the Badlapur. Let's also not forget about what happened inside a school. Yes. And where a BJP government is there and they said it is politically motivated, the protests over there. Whereas in West Bengal, the protests are not politically motivated. I fail to understand how wait, let me finish. How the BJP government is selective on rapes. What happened with the wrestlers? Internationally famous wrestlers protesting for 6 months.
Okay.
And the Prime Minister
let me get Shehzad Poonawala to respond to that. But you made an important point, Dr. Shama Mohammed, earlier about police reforms. And I think that's an important part of the debate. And I'll get Mr. Sahai to talk about that as well. Because ultimately, we've been talking about police reforms for years, but nothing has really happened. But Shehzad, your quick response to Shama Mohammed and also the larger debate around political complicity. Because very often we see that, leaders go scot-free, given the fact that, we had that graphic on air right now which shows how Brijbhushan Sharan Singh, who has been charge-sheeted, he has of course not been arrested yet. Many other cases, what happened in the Bilkis Bano case was an absolute travesty of law. So we see this kind of political complicity
and Gurmeet
across
Ram Rahim,
cases.
let's not forget
yes,
Gurmeet Ram Rahim.
We have those details on air, Shama. Shehzad Poonawala, a quick response.
Parole.
Yeah, Shehzad, go ahead.
Will I be allowed to speak like Shama was allowed to speak without
Please go ahead, Shehzad.
Or will she start interrupting me?
Go ahead, Shehzad.
Okay. First of all, to conflate what has happened in West Bengal, where the Supreme Court has come down heavily on the institutional and systematic cover-up which was done right from the moment go, where the hospital authorities misled the parents, kept them waiting, the FIR was delayed, Kapil Sibal, former congressman, currently Samajwadi Party MP, was laughing in court. The manner in which the police allowed the crime scene to be vandalized, the manner in which there was a tampering of the evidence and the case paper, which was accepted by the Supreme Court. And then the chief minister, who happens to have Mamta in a way, showed absolutely no Mamta towards the victim's family and even towards the doctors who are protesting. And her ministers were on a spree trying to blame and trying to shame protesters and the victim. I think if somebody wants to conflate that with any other incident, it only shows a lack of intellectual honesty. It shows bankruptcy at the very least. Having said that, because Madam mentioned Kathua, just a one-point intervention. In Kathua, forget the case, just the case. Even the person who supported the rapist, Lal Singh, was kicked out by the BJP and he was promptly given a ticket by the Congress party. By the way, he was in Rahul Gandhi's rally 2 days ago. The same Rahul Gandhi spoke up about Unnao. I congratulate Rahul Gandhi for speaking up about Unnao. But do you know, Unnao, Kuldeep Singh Sengar, despite being an MLA of the BJP, was convicted in 2 years flat. Now Shama Mohammed needs a fact check on Nirbhaya. Please wait, Shama, wait for your turn. Be patient. Shama Mohammed said that we fast-tracked the entire Nirbhaya matter. The Nirbhaya matter finally got conviction from the Supreme Court in 2020. And I don't blame Shama Mohammed's government for that. It's not Shama Mohammed's government that's to blame. Let me put a larger point. In the Nirbhaya matter, the charge sheet was actually filed within 1 month, which is a good thing. Even in other matters like Hathras or other places, the charge sheets were actually filed very quickly by the investigating agency, be it the CBI or the police. The problem is that the judiciary has, let me just complete my point. Why are you in such a haste?
Okay, go ahead. No, because, go ahead. I'm giving fair time to everyone, Shehzad, but go ahead and complete your point and then I'll bring in the other panelists.
Why are you putting pressure
go
on
ahead,
me?
go ahead.
Why are you putting pressure on me?
Go ahead, Shehzad.
But the point that I'm trying to make is, that of course political parties, governments must take accountability because there is, as in the case of West Bengal, sometimes institutional cover-up. But I also think that the judiciary must pick up its share of the way when investigating agencies, be it Nirbhaya case.
That's an important point. In fact, if you look at some of the data there, and let me bring in Mihira Sood waiting very patiently on this. Mihira Sood, the question that I asked you earlier, many a times it's said that we need more fast-track courts, but we already have fast-track courts. The fact is that the rate of disposal is abysmally low when it comes to these courts, and cases lie pending for decades on end. Where is really the flaw? Of course, we spoke about preventive justice and sort of police reforms at that level, but at the judiciary level, where are we lacking?
See, more than fast-track courts, we need to fill vacancies. We need many more trained judges. We need to increase the capacity of the courts in terms of judges and daily hearing capacity. Beyond a point, you can eliminate unnecessary delays, but beyond a point, you cannot shorten the trial. There is a certain length of time that a trial will take, even minus any delays that are caused by judges, lawyers, police, even if you cut those out. There is a certain length of time that a trial will take. So what you need is to increase the capacity of the courts in terms of hiring more judges. You need to train more judges. You need better trained people. You need to incentivize more people to become judges at the lower court level. You need to provide that kind of training. You need to provide round the year, training, sensitization. We have new criminal laws in place now. Those also you need to, you need to have constant training. You need better infrastructure. It's not these are not always cases where you have a lot of physical evidence. A lot relies on testimony and corroboration. And, there is data, for example, just to give one small example, that if the testimony of the victim, there is audio video recording of her initial testimony, then there is a correlation there of a much higher conviction rate, right? Because the incident is fresh, able to recount detail, all of those things are there.
Yes.
But many districts lack facilities for audiovisual recording. That's just one small example. So we need to improve awareness about collecting evidence, about medical examination, about the fact that medical examination is not something that is going to be intrusive.
So that's an important
medical
point.
examination is necessary, that you
So
should not,
sensitization of
really
courts.
natural for
I think that's an important point to raise. Sensitization of courts, while of course the issue of vacancies is extremely pertinent, but Abha Singh come in on this, particularly when we look at cases of the rapes of minors, for example. Are our courts sensitized enough to deal with such cases?
Courts are sensitized, judges also realize it, but the issue is there are so many cases, voluminous cases, and they go on and on. And what happens is sometimes the government pleader is not there, or if the defense, some way or other, the board collapses or it doesn't reach. So, and what was the purpose of a fast track court? That in a span of one sitting or maximum in a month, you fast track the matter. But as you heard that even after courts giving judgment in 1 month, the hanging in Nirbhaya case took place after 10 years. So that period, and that is why the president said that why we are taking so much time. So I think the Supreme Court, Justice Chanchud, who is very active in these issues, he needs to look into it, set up a committee that actually gives a time frame.
In fact, he's spoken about time-bound justice multiple times.
No, but like now, the BNS has also mentioned that if twice date is not coming up and the advocate is taking time, then it would be taken ex parte. The other side would not be given an opportunity to speak. So till the time such cases are taken like this, we need really some strong measures, because otherwise I have seen victims coming from far off places. Either the judge is not sitting, or the advocate has not come off the other side, or there is some problem. People come from far off districts and go back without even their case being heard.
And you made an important point about the volume of cases, because if you look at the data on the Supreme Court, the pending cases is at an all-time high of 80,000, but the disposal rate is still above 90%. So we can imagine the volume of cases, that even at a high disposal rate or relatively high disposal rate, it's difficult to really look at all cases. But Sanjay Sahai, come in quickly on the aspect of police reforms. We've spoken about it at length multiple times, but on both the levels, at the level of preventive justice and also at the level of investigation.
See, first and foremost, this 2006 Prakash Singh case, so that has been a landmark and a watershed Supreme Court judgment, which could have revolutionized policing in a manner which the people want. So a complete lack of political will, and more than the directives of the Supreme Court being implemented, what the governments have tried is to put their clutches even stronger on the police. Now, if the governments are really interested in controlling the police as far as the law and order and intelligence and variety of other things are concerned, let them do it. There is no problem about it. The problem is where they want to control the investigation. Why they want to control the investigation is a different question for a different day. And we have people who have been embroiled in criminal cases. I will not say suspect or accused, but they have been embroiled in criminal cases much beyond the numbers what we see in the public domain.
Yes, that's a pertinent point. Yes, and in fact, you spoke about political will, and of course that is extremely important. And Shah Mohammed and Shehzad, quickly, I'm running out of time on the debate, but have we set the wrong precedent as politicians when it comes to justice for women? Shah Mohammed and then Shehzad.
So for us, from our party, I don't remember anywhere where we have done injustice. For Nirbhaya, we got in the Criminal Amendment Act. Now here he points fingers at Rahul Gandhi, who was campaigning for serial rapist Prajwal Revanna, the Prime Minister of India. When Bilkis Banu's rapists were left loose, I must say, remission given by whom? Without the central government's permission, since it was a CBI case, they couldn't have come out. After they came out, they were garlanded and they were campaigning for BJP candidates. Let's understand that. And they killed Bilkis Banu's child, raped her mom and sister, and killed multiple people in her family. Let's understand the gravity of the situation. Okay. And one last point, I admit what happened in Calcutta is horrendous. Yes. She gave the case to CBI. Okay, there were a lot of lapses there. Whereas in Hathras, they were not even ready to give the case to CBI until Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi protested over there.
Okay,
so
that's an important point, Shehzad. I'm completely running out of time. Shehzad, a quick response. Last 30 seconds to you. Your point is taken, Shama.
Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, Prime Minister, has been quiet.
Yes, Shehzad, a quick response. Go ahead.
I will take the amount of time that the Congress has been given. If you have a problem, then I won't speak.
Please go ahead, Shehzad. Go ahead. Yeah.
Did the Mamata Banerjee government hand over the case to the CBI or did the High Court transfer it? You are allowing a national spokesperson to lie on a channel like NDTV. Anyways, that is not prerogative. Secondly, let me come to the point that it's the Congress party.
What happened in UP? Talk
Shama
about
Mohammed, let Shehzad have his share. I'm completely
Shehzad
running.
doesn't want to
Shehzad,
speak
go
about
ahead.
Hathras. He's
Shehzad on the
escaped.
screen, please. Shehzad, go ahead.
Shehzad has become an escapist today.
Go ahead, Shehzad.
Thank you for giving me this courtesy. First of all, I don't even want to get into the fact that during the Sikh riots, there were thousands of rapes, but the Congress party never even allowed for investigations. Now Jagdish Raita has been charged for some crime. So let's not get into that. Let me make a few larger points. The first fact is that the BNSS has now put a timeline as to the investigation that has to happen in 2 months, trials have to happen in 2 months. I think that will push the judiciary to take steps. In certain cases like West Bengal, fast-track courts have not been activated. For instance, they were supposed to activate 123, they only have 7 till now. So there is a problem in some of the state governments also, but the judiciary too needs to pick up the tab. For instance, it's a male-dominated judiciary. Judiciaries operate in a political and societal environment. Just last 10 seconds. And the problem is that our political and societal atmosphere often tends towards victim shaming, and therefore the judiciary too takes a matter of rape very carefully, and therefore that needs to be avoided as well. And finally, to my dear friend Shama, in Ayodhya, a 12-year-old girl was raped by Mohit Khan. Pray you may say one word about Mohit Khan.
Okay. I mean, if you go into the details of the cases, of course, you've had political parties.
I'm telling you, I will.
Forget it. Let Rahul Gandhi go.
Okay, let's not make it into a Shehzad versus Shama debate. We'll have many more debates to sort of discuss this. But thanks all very much for being with us. I'm completely running out of time. And this, of course, remains one of our top focus stories on NDTV. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and
Good evening and and welcome. You're watching We the People. I'm Rishika Barua. Allegations of sexual harassment, assault, molestation leveled by top actors of the Malayalam film industry have spiraled into an all too familiar Me Too movement in Kerala. Prominent actors have come out and put a face to the rot that pervades the entire system, thereby also emboldening many others to come forward and file official complaints. The Malayalam film industry's Me Too is a fallout of the Justice Hema Committee report that was submitted to the Kerala government in 2019, but it was buried. The report has now come out in the public domain 5 years later, and it paints the full picture of the systemic sexual harassment affecting women in the Malayalam film industry. The impact of the report has been significant. The entire Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, or AMMA as it's called, has been dissolved. Top actors have been stripped of plum positions. And 5 years after the report, the Kerala government has now formed an all-women SIT to probe the allegations. Several cases have been already filed and an investigation by the SIT is underway. But this is not the first time that the dark underbelly of show business stands exposed. It's been 5 years since the Bollywood Me Too movement and not one person has been convicted. Many cases made it to courts but were thrown out due to a lack of evidence. Bollywood actors such as Nana Patekar, Alok Nath and others were called out as sexual predators, but nothing happened. With another wave of allegations, with all these stories coming out, will they be buried as another blip in history, or will they lift the weight of impunity and catalyze long-lasting reforms? That's our top focus on We the People tonight. Joining me, Vinta Nanda, filmmaker and editor of the Daily Eye. She is one of those women who actually kick-started the Me Too movement as far as the Hindi film industry is concerned, levelling rape allegations against Alok Nath. We have Uma Sudhir, executive editor of NDTV. It's a pleasure to have Radhika Sarath Kumar, Indian actress and film producer. She's, of course, somebody who needs absolutely no introduction. She's been working in the Malayalam and Telugu film industry for over 4 decades. Sana Rais Khan, an advocate of the Supreme Court, and Janice Sequeira, host and creator. Janice is, of course, one of those individuals who was witness in the case against Nana Patekar as well. She's written extensively on this. Thank you all very much for being with us on We the People. Before I get in my other guests, Vinta, if I can very quickly come to you. You were one of the first women to, in a certain sense, speak out and trigger the Me Too movement in Bollywood. And today we are seeing this huge movement in the Malayalam film industry. Many say it's a more powerful one. How do you look at this?
No, certainly it's a very, very powerful movement, and hats off to the WCC, which has spearheaded and led this entire, seen to it that a report which was being put under the carpet, was pushed under the carpet, is being now released, has been released, and there is a concerted effort by them to see to it that there's a national outcry over there's outrage over what has happened and what continues to happen. There's no doubt. But to me, it is like, the media moves on, right, Rishika? And that's what happened during the Me Too movement as well. I mean, you can't deny that there was such a huge outcry. There was uproar. There was non-stop coverage of the media, and everybody was able to come out. There were so many women who came out and they spoke. But then what happened? We need to dwell on that. There was, of course, the committees were set up, and all those things happened which were necessary to place in the industry and have, all the companies and the businesses to have those internal committees and all of those things. But there's never been any action. I mean, all the women who came out, including me, we have, it was very difficult for me to even legally take the case forward. Rest of the women as well, they've all gone silent because there is no point in going on saying that we need justice. I mean, it just is a repetitive rant now. So everybody's gone underground. Nobody wants to bring it out. Nobody wants to talk anymore. And those guys who were named and shamed are back on the scene. Sympathy is with them. That's the tragedy, the sympathy is with them.
I also want to ask you, because legally this is complicated. You came out with your story 19 years after it happened. How tough was it, and how much harder does it become legally?
But that's where it goes and rests, right, Rishika? That's where it goes and places itself as to he said, she said. There is very, very little chance of any of the cases, even now, which have come out in the Hema committee report. We are all going to stand by the women. We are all going to support them. We are all going to say what needs to be said. But at the end of the day, in the court of law, there is very little that can be done. I mean, and we are not doing anything to, as a society or a culture, to change those things. I mean, what we need to focus on are very different things now. I have questions to ask. I have questions to ask as to why does our society continue to uphold a patriarchal mindset that objectifies and subjugates women, implicitly normalizing gender-based violence? What prevents us from accepting sex education in school, denying children the right to understand their bodies and concept of consent during puberty and when their hormones are raging? I mean, I'm really wondering, why are we not discussing these things?
Right. Well, thank you very much, for joining us. I want to quickly take this now to Radhika Sarath Kumar. You've spent over 4 decades, acting in films across various industries in the South. How are you looking at this movement today? It's being called the Mollywood Me Too or the Malayalam film industry's Me Too, but how do you really look at this movement today?
Firstly, I think the women who stood their ground in getting this moving forward is very commendable, because I know the backlash they faced, the shaming they went through, and having the report stalled for a couple of years till it came out recently. I see that as women who want to speak their mind and who want to say, yes, we've had enough of this.
Right. Before I get in the other panelists, I want to ask you from your own experience. When we were speaking earlier, you said that it's not just about harassment in terms of a physical assault or a molestation attempt or an advance being made. But you were recounting how difficult it has been, the working conditions, how difficult they have been, and what all you've sort of faced, on a personal level, whether it's the lack of changing rooms or toilets. Would you like to, share some of your experience? You've, of course, been a veteran in the industries, across industries.
Sure. See, when the Hema committee came out, of course, I've not read the whole thing, but whatever just I have followed, I could see that how women were not given, facilities, and how it was difficult for them. They become easy prey where they're sitting together with men and somebody comes and, there are a lot of men who will make all these remarks and try to pitch their luck on what they can do. So basically, from 80s, I've been working since then. From 78, I've been working. Before that, of course, there was an industry. It was a different act. This is not something new which is happening today. It has been happening from those days. And those days, there was no communication. There was people didn't want to hear a woman's voice, even to say anything. I was considered a rebel because I used to speak my mind and everything. Although I come from a very well-renowned film person's family.
Yes.
My father was a great actor, Maratha. But people were a little wary about moving, talking to me and everything. And since I was, I used to speak English and I used to be very fluent in what I want to say, they were very wary of me. So they always look for the easy prey. They look for the easy prey. Right. So when we came in, we've heard of all these difficult times. And when I came in, I was appalled. We never had bathrooms to, we used to have such dirty places to work in. We would not even have changing rooms. There's so many films today, even most of the actors, when they were congratulating me on my 46 years in industry, they were recalling the times where I used to go and change behind a tree, have people come and tie saris around, and we used to change. There used to be no toilets. There used to be, they would go to somebody's house, village, to see if the toilet was clean and request them whether the actors can use the toilet. It was, for the men, maybe it was a little simpler for them, but for us, it was very, and we used to have this elaborate costumes in the 80s, the hair, the dresses and everything.
Yes.
So it was very difficult, and it has been quite a journey for me. And then, we have the caravans, we have a personal space, we know that we are there. But then I was in Kerala a long time back doing a Malayalam film. And these men were sitting and talking during a break, and I was just walking and I saw them looking at some video and laughing. And I just called somebody whom I know very well. I said, "What are you laughing about?" See, most of the men have videos of women changing in the caravan, of actors.
Wow.
You name the actors and they have it.
Wow.
I used to be scared to go into a caravan to change. And I used to tell my assistants, check here, check there, do this, do that. But in the end, I said, hell with it. He wants to see something go and happen. I mean, in the end of it, we have to continue working, and work is going on in full speed. But this happened. Of course, today I hear some actors saying, oh, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in Mollywood. It happens everywhere. Let me tell you that. It has happened to me also. I can name topmost politicians, I can name actors, I can name anybody. But that is not the point today. I know how to handle myself. I know how to face. I know how to give back. I know how to put my foot down. And I think most of the women also need to know that. But beyond all this, it's not about, targeting somebody and saying, you did this, you did that. No. We, as an industry, it happens in all industries. It's happening in a hospital. It's happening in schools. It's happening in colleges. But what I'm saying, every single place, we need to have a protected association. If, say, example, there was a singer who named lyricist. If it is so, because we are a film industry, people tend to blow it up. They want the TRP there, and they want to say, oh, this happened with so and so.
I mean, at some level, I would say it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of show business. Y'all are famous personalities. People know you. So when you come out and say something like this, it also carries a lot more weight.
Yeah, it does. But what would carry more weight in society is getting a sort of a finale to it, to get a closure to it. Maybe we have an association, we have a judge, we have somebody who's sitting there to listen it out, sort it out. And what is this you're asking for in the end? You're asking for an apology, or you're asking for a conviction? Okay?
I think that's
today,
an important question.
we've read about Harvey Weinstein being convicted for his Me Too activities. It's not going to happen here. I'm telling you. They're all going to get away scot-free.
Well, it's very interesting that both Radhika Sarath Kumar and Vinta Nanda actually said the exact same thing, that nothing happens at the end of the day. Janice Sequeira, I want to bring you into the conversation. You've, of course, been a witness as well to a Me Too allegation that was leveled in the Indian film industry. And Tanushree, when she leveled that allegation, you bore witness to it as well. But I mean, let's face it, this isn't the first time that we are seeing a Me Too movement. And while it's grabbed national and international headlines and it's grabbed all the attention, the truth is nothing really changed from the time that you were a part of the movement 5 years ago.
I mean, Rishika, what has changed? I mean, so firstly, let's put things in context, right? Yes, I was a witness. And even I remember when Tanushree came out with her story, initially, everyone, if you looked at it at that time, of course, Twitter, now called X, was just calling it a publicity stunt. They'd said like, oh, she's been out of the public spotlight for so many years. She needs to get back on, get work. She needs to be on Big Boss. She needs to be on a reality show. And hence she's saying that. And, we have this tendency to not believe women when they come out with their stories. And in Tanushree's case, because I had been a witness, because I was on that set, and because I'd seen the sequence of events, and I think because also I was a journalist and I continued being a journalist for quite a few years, so, earned a bit of a decent reputation that she's not someone who's flaky. But because I came and I sort of said, okay, I validated her story and said, no, this actually did happen. And this is from my POV as much as I can remember to the best of my recollection. These are the instances that did happen and she is speaking the truth. It kind of became that, oh, now we'll believe her because there was a witness. But in so many cases in the film industry, there are no witnesses.
Yes.
And honestly, where is the protection? I think Radhika ma'am raised such an important question that, yes, we could go around naming the biggest of the biggest names and say this one did that. And I know that there is a secret whisper campaign, at least in the, for the Hindi actors. A lot of us journalists and a lot of us media people, content creators, actors will talk to each other and be like, be careful of this guy, be careful of this creep, be careful of this one. That's that secret whisper campaign. But otherwise, who is believing women? Where is the protection? And the thing is that even if we point fingers and say, this big actor did this, because just like Radhika ma'am said, we all could tell you stories. And I'm not even saying that these are stories we've heard of from others. We've heard from the women themselves about the horrific things that have happened to them. But who is believing us?
Yes.
And the thing is that at the end of the day, we want conviction, right? Because the only way to put the fear of God and to actually change things on ground in every case, whether it's in hospitals, whether it's happening in villages, wherever, is to actually have conviction. When you start punishing them, when they know that they cannot get away with it, is when things will actually change. And first of all, also, I know it's taken a few years, but I do feel like at least with the Malayalam film industry, there has been a little bit of unity. There has been a little bit of cohesive voices coming together and speaking consistently. With the Hindi film industry, unfortunately, they only went after the low-hanging fruits. Tell me one big name that actually came out. Today you have, the president of the AMMA resigning. You have, all the big producers and actors being talked about in the Malayalam film industry. But in the Hindi film industry, can you tell me one big name that actually was spoken about? It was all the low-hanging fruits. And by the way, let me tell you that each one of those men is back at work and has probably now gotten more work in one way or another. This feels like the time, when we're so fascinated with maybe a serial killer story.
Janice, did you face backlash? I just want to ask you, because you bore witness to Tanushrie's case against Nana Patekar. Did you face backlash?
Can I be really honest, Rishika, and say I don't really care? If you're scared of talking to me because I speak the truth, I apologize for my cat wanting to be a part of this interview. I will put him away and repeat my answer. But I'm saying that I really don't care. I think the one thing in life I've learned is that you can only speak your truth. My cat insists on doing this. I am so sorry.
But I think you're making a very important point. I'd like to welcome your cat onto the discussion as well. But I think you're making a very important point that you at some level didn't care about what it did to your career, and I think that's the general feeling among a lot of women who have the courage to come forward. But for every woman that comes forward, remember there are hundreds others who don't have the courage or the wherewithal or the support system in order to be able to do this. But Uma, if I can bring you into the conversation, you've covered this story extensively. You also understand a fair bit of backdrop as far as this particular movement is concerned. Janice raised a very important point when she said that it's very different from the way it played out in show business, whether we talk about Bollywood or Hollywood. It's very different. There is a fair bit of solidarity. A lot of voices have come out and at least heads have rolled. There's a report that's been submitted, an SIT has been formed. Can we therefore prima facie assume that there'll be a lot more than just the dissolution of that Actors Association, and perhaps we will see some concrete action? Or would you not go so far as to say that just yet?
So the resolution itself is something that's been questioned now, because it was not a unanimous decision to resign. At least 2 women there have said that we did not want to resign. Why should we all resign? It's not as though the Malayalam film industry is standing together to say that, we don't agree with something like this and therefore we are resigning, something like that. No. 2 things that I must point out. One, whether convictions is something that all of us want, but many of this is over a long period of time, and therefore getting convictions is probably going to be very difficult in this case. But what Radhika referred to, the normalization of this kind of sexualization of women, that people can laugh at you, people think it is okay for a group of men to sit together and do it. I think at least that we will start to question that and start to say that, no, this is not normal. This is not okay for you to laugh at some women or make jokes about her body or about whatever kind of verbal or other jokes that you may have about her. The big difference is, yes, instead of just something that was a social media movement or things that were not formally complained, the big difference is that this time you have not just the Hema Commission report. Of course, that brought the respectability and authenticity to the testimonies of all these women. Not just women, I'm saying there are men also who have testified there. So that is very important. The second aspect is the SIT that's been done. And now you're having FIRs in each of these cases. FIRs cannot be dismissed just like that. Even though evidence may be hard to come by, but there is going to be evidence, like the way Janice was there as a witness in that. We have, in the case of, Tess Joseph, who has spoken about Derek O'Brien, a TMC MP, who she had complained to at that time, and she made a complaint about the Kollam CPM MLA and so on and so forth. The other important one that I want to ask Radhika actually is, does having women in positions of authority make a difference? Because Radhika is someone, for our audiences, if I may say, she's the Ekta Kapoor of Tamil or Telugu film industry, because she knows not just all the film industries, but she's also someone who knows the small screen. She's been producer, director. Having a woman in charge, does that make a difference, Radhika? That is something that I think our audiences will want to know, because all the time when they're controlled, producers control it, financiers control it, the distributors control it. Even Hema Commission says 15 men are forming that mafia.
Let me tell you something. I also put the producers to blame. Being a direct witness to all what has happened in the last 46 years, I'm still working, I'm still in shoot. For what happens, I've had instances where women come to me because they think I'm this strong person, and I have this image of being a very tough person. They come and say, please help us, this guy is misbehaving. It happens in television, and I put a stop to it. If it is in my shoot, I will not tolerate it. I will take extreme action against them. So they're very scared when I'm on the sets, but the minute I go, I can see them all heaving a big sigh of relief. But what I'm saying is, it happens everywhere, but it is also, producers are to blame in the sense they are not giving provisions to these women. They are not making it a safe place. They are not having mandatory rules to keep such places for women to rest, to sleep, to change. They have to change in front of 20 men. If you take the dancers, today I want to ask the Film Federation, that is called the FEFC here, or Union of Workers, they're always fighting with us for wages, for insurance, everything. All that is fine. But why aren't they fighting for these women who are working under them? They're not fighting for them.
What about internal committees, Radhika?
I think,
in all these organizations.
I think the point that Radhika has made here, which is, the fact that as a producer, she's put her foot down. I think that answers your question in a certain sense, Suma, and also raises a very important point that if you have more women in positions of power, that could perhaps catalyze change. I want to very quickly bring in Sana Rais Khan. She's an advocate of the Supreme Court. You've been listening in very patiently, Sana. Thank you very much. I want to ask you very simply, Sana, the legality of this. The reason why movements like Me Too often fail to see convictions or justice being meted out at the end of the day. Several panelists talked about, these movements being examples, there being conviction, punishment, etc., is because these cases get thrown out of court because of lack of evidence. I mean, look at Vinta's case, for instance. She came out 5 years ago, but it was 19 years since she'd alleged rape. How do you prove something like this in a court of law when it's a he said versus she said?
Yes. See, of course, for these women to come out and speak against it is, of course, worthy of appreciation. But at the same time, primarily, I will emphasize on the fact that reporting is also equally essential. Prompt reporting is also equally essential, because delay is a huge factor that always ends up in acquittal or bail in the court of law. Evidence, with passage of time. Actually, there is a statute of limitation in legal systems. They have statute of limitations, which are the laws that set the maximum time limit within which the legal proceedings may be initiated. But of course, for these cases which are heinous cases, like cases of sexual assault, rape cases, they have longer statutes of limitation. But still, then there are jurisdictions where there might be no limitation at all. But obviously, because if the cases are decades old, then evidence may have deteriorated, or of course, potential witnesses may have died, or witnesses' memories may fade. So these factors, of course, play a huge role in acquittal. And
well, I think that's an important point to people who are watching the broadcast, that, while it's very difficult to come out and report, at the same time, if you really want justice to be served and you want to see conviction, then it has to be done within the sort of ambit of the law. I mean, there are several questions that can be raised about that, but Yes, Sana, finish your
Because
point.
the onus is always on the prosecution to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes.
Because that standard always has to be met for the accused to and for the perpetrator to be booked and actually be held guilty.
Very, very, very important point. I'm running out of time. Both Janice and Uma want to come in. Janice, you first.
I have a question for Sana because, this was in Tanushri's case because I remember when the incident took place also, she'd gone to all of the producing bodies, the directors' bodies that existed within the Hindi film industry. She'd held press conferences and there was enough of footage and she tried to approach the cops as well. At that time, the case wasn't taken seriously, but all the footage, evidence, all the testimonies that had to be given, etc. were done. And then cut to back in 2018, we did it all over again, this time with me and two other witnesses, and yet the case got thrown out completely by the Mumbai court.
Okay, so you're saying that despite all of that, Sana, do you want to answer that? That a lot of times even the evidence that's available isn't taken into consideration or considered not good enough.
Digital evidence plays a key role, like emails, text messages, because physical evidence in such cases is of course very difficult. But then again, like how I emphasized, delay plays a huge factor because there was no prompt reporting. If a person sleeps over a right for a period of 5 years, 10 years, then usually that goes against that person in the court of law, which always ends up in acquittal.
Uma wanted to come in as well.
Sana is talking about delay in the victims coming out. One of the big problems I find in the film industry specifically is because you don't have the internal committees. Radhika can perhaps correct me about what is the prevalence of internal committees, because these women don't come out and speak because there is no mechanism through which their confidentiality is respected. So they have to be able to talk to an internal committee.
Yes,
Radhika, are there committees?
No, there's no committees. I've also spoken to a lot of people. And also, I think we need to all these years of service, whatever I've seen, we progressed up till here. Now there is a fear among all these men. Oh, it can happen to us. We need to be careful. Now they're becoming silent predators.
Right.
They become underground predators. Okay? So they're all scared. That's why you see a lot of silence. Nobody wants to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it because they don't know if their name will come there.
Well, all I can say is that there are several women who are talking about it, but like I said, for every one woman who comes out, there are hundreds of others who don't. But you've all spared time and been with us on an extremely important issue that concerns, I think, every woman and man out there. I can't thank you all enough for your time this evening on We the People.
Yes.
That's all the time we have in the broadcast. Thank you very much for watching.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels. Stay informed and entertained.
She says victims live in fear but culprits roam free. She says that for real justice to prevail, justice truly must be equal and all powerful must be punished. The BJP chief questions Kerala government over the Me Too row. The BJP president says the left government could be complicit in the Me Too rot. This as the left is silent on MLA Mukesh despite a fresh case being registered against him. Superstar Rajinikanth meanwhile evades the question on Me Too. After the Arjikar horror, a Bengal nurse has been assaulted in Birbhum. A patient allegedly molested the nurse on duty. Meanwhile, a 13-year-old patient has allegedly been assaulted inside the Howrah hospital. 8 people have died in the Vijayawada landslides in Andhra Pradesh. A rain red alert for both Andhra and Telangana. Train services have been badly hit in Telangana. Home Minister Amit Shah dials the Telangana and Andhra chief ministers, taking stock of the situation. Kangana Ranaut's Tara Emergencies release postponed amid row over some of the content being allegedly disrespectful. The emergency movie will not release on September the 6th. The movie is yet to get a clearance from the censor board. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Vedanta Agarwal. Our lead story, well, the president batting for fast-track justice. She says that while victims live in fear, culprits, particularly those in positions of power, roam free. She says for real justice and real democratic values to prevail, speedy justice and fast-track justice are essential. In fact, this, as she also talked about how cases lie pending in courts for years on end. Take a look.
एविडेंस और विटनेसेस से जुड़े मुद्दों पर न्यायपालिका, सरकार और पुलिस प्रशासन को मिलजुल कर समाधान निकालना चाहिए। कुछ मामले में साधन संपन्न लोग अपराध करने के बाद भी निर्भीक और निश्चोत घूमते रहते हैं। जो लोग उनके अपराधों से पीड़ित होते हैं, वे डरे से में रहते हैं, मानो उन्हीं विचारों ने कई अपराध कर दिया है। महिला पीड़िताओं की स्थिति और भी खराब होती है क्योंकि प्रायः समाज के लोग भी उनके साथ नहीं देते। जब बलात्कार जैसे जघन्य अपराध के मामले में न्यायालय के निर्णय एक पीढ़ी के गुजर जाने के बाद आते हैं तो सामान्य व्यक्ति को लगता है कि न्याय प्रक्रिया में संवेदनशीलता कम है। भगवान के घर देर है लेकिन अंधेरा नहीं। लेकिन देर कितने दिन तक, कितना देर हो सकता है? 32 साल, 12 साल, 20 साल, 10 साल? हम लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। तब तक जिसको न्याय मिलेगा 32 साल के बाद शायद उनके चेहरे से मुस्कान ही खत्म हो जाएगा। गांव का गरीब आदमी कोर्ट कचहरी जाने से डरता है और बहुत मजबूरी से ही अदालत की न्याय प्रक्रिया में भागीदार बनता है। उसके लिए एक बार गांव से दूर अदालत तक जाना ही बहुत बड़े मानसिक और आर्थिक दबाव का कारण बन जाता है। ऐसी स्थिति में बार बार तारीख देने यानी स्थगन की संस्कृति अर्थात कल्चर ऑफ एडजर्नमेंट से गरीब लोगों को जो कष्ट होता है उसकी कल्पना भी बहुत से लोग नहीं कर पाते।
Well, this as crimes against women continue to be reported from across the country, and in West Bengal, as the outrage over the Arjikar hospital horror continues, another case of an on-duty paramedic being assaulted has now come to light. In fact, a nurse was assaulted allegedly on duty. A patient allegedly molested the nurse. In fact, also, This as the CBI is questioning doctors at the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital as well, as doctors continue to protest. In fact, the CBI has questioned several doctors and staff members of the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. Let me go across to my colleague Tanushka joining us live on the phone line. So Tanushka, what more details do you have the CBI tightening its noose?
Right, Vedant. So the CBI is continuing with its investigation and is questioning a few staff members and doctors of the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. The CBI reached today the Arjikar Hospital at around 4 p.m. and the CBI team is still inside Arjikar. So a good number of hours ever since the CBI has been inside and continuing with their questioning. This, as you know, since the past 18 days, the former principal of the college has also been questioned by the CBI. This is Sandeep Ghosh, and the CBI is also now looking into why Ghosh was absent when the police reached the Arjikar hospital. Besides studying Ghosh's call details, he's undergone 2 polygraph tests. The investigators are speaking to hospital administrators as well. So the CBI may undertake a few more polygraph tests as well, but as of now, the CBI is still inside the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital, questioning and interrogating a few staff members and doctors of the college.
All right, Tanushka, thanks very much for joining us with the latest there. But looking at the case that happened in Howrah, in fact, a 13-year-old patient was allegedly molested inside the Howrah hospital, and this happened during, she was undergoing a CT scan, is what the police have said. In fact, a paramedic, in fact, a hospital staffer, has been accused of molesting that minor girl. Listen in.
जब ये कंप्लेन हमको मिला है, हम हावड़ा जो पुलिस स्टेशन है इसमें हम रिटन कंप्लेन किया है, जो FIR हुआ है, जो एक्यूज्ड है उसको अरेस्ट भी हुआ है, और जो पार्टनर है प्राइवेट पब्लिक पार्टनर सिटी स्कैन, उसके साथ हम एक्सप्लोरेशन माना है। एक्सप्लोरेशन जब देगा वो हायर अथॉरिटी में भेज देंगे, हायर अथॉरिटी जो डिसीजन लेगा वही होगा। देखिए, हम तो मालूम नहीं है, जो पुलिस इंक्वायरी करेगा उसका जो ही नतीजा निकलेगा वही होगा।
हावड़ा अस्पताल में जो घटना घटा है वो घटना हम CPM BJP वो मछली पकड़ने का कोशिश कर रहा है। तो मैं ये कहूँगा जो सरकार के तरफ से, प्रशासन की तरफ से, हॉस्पिटल अथॉरिटी की तरफ से जो व्यवस्था लेना है वो सब ले लिया। पुलिस उसको अरेस्ट किया, जो जिसका माने ऊपर जो आरोप है उसको अरेस्ट किया पुलिस, और उसको कोर्ट में फॉरवर्ड भी किया। जो लड़का ये किया उसका वो किसी को नहीं बताया। जो मशीन चालू हो गया, मशीन बंद था, मशीन चालू हो गया, वो किसी को बताया नहीं, इसीलिए ऐसा हुआ।
And moving now to the latest on the Bollywood Me Too movement. Well, the political fallout as the BJP chief JP Nadda questioned the Kerala government over complicity. This as the left government is still silent despite its actor and MLA Mukesh being charged with a fresh case that was registered in Kerala's Thrissur. But listen in to what BJP President JP Nadda said.
Why the delay in the justice to the Hema committee report? What is stopping them? The Hema report? What stops you? What is haunting you? Because you are part and parcel of that. Something you want to hide.
The day of the election, I said there are unholy nexus between CPM in Kerala and the BJP. So the LDF convener met Prakash Javadekar, who is in charge of Prabhari of the Kerala BJP. Why? And Chief Minister protected Jayarajan and said that I also met Prakash Javadekar many times. Why? Why the Chief Minister of Kerala is a Politburo member Kerala? Why he met the Prakash Javadekar? He is not a central minister. He is only the Prabhari of the Kerala BJP. Why? For what purpose?
Meanwhile, actor and left MLA Mukesh, who is really at the center of this entire Me Too storm, a fresh case has been registered against him in Kerala's Thrissur. This has already been charged with rape earlier. There have been growing demands for his resignation. As many as 100 women activists have written a strongly worded letter demanding his resignation. But the left front government, which has backed him, is silent on this. As more and more actors come out and speak in solidarity with the women who have come out and narrated their ordeal in sordid detail. Superstar Rajinikanth evaded a question on the Me Too movement. In fact, he said, "I don't know anything about the Hema Committee report." Take a look.
தொடர்ந்து தமிழ் திரையுலகுக்கும் ஹேமா கமிட்டி அமைக்க சொல்லி நிறைய பேர் வலியுறுத்துறாங்க. ஹேமா கமிட்டி மலையாளம்
எனக்கு தெரியாதுங்க, அதை பத்தி தெரியாது, சாரி.
Meanwhile, the Kerala Congress has expelled a senior leader from the primary membership. This, as the Congress says, is after some of the remarks that Simi Rosebell made against women. But Simi Rosebell, remember, had alleged that there is almost a casting couch-like situation in the Congress. Take a look.
ഈ പാർട്ടിയിൽ അന്തസ്സും അഭിമാനവും ആഭിജാത്യവുമുള്ള വനിതകൾക്ക് പ്രവർത്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഈ നൽകുന്ന സന്ദേശം, ഇവരൊക്കെ എത്ര നല്ല പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലൂടെ ഈ കേരള മണ്ണിന്റെ ശിരസ്സുയർത്തിയ വനിതകളാണ്. ഇവരൊക്കെ ഹൃദയവേദനയോടെയാണ് ഈ പാർട്ടി വിട്ടത്.
In fact, Henry Austin of the Congress is joining us live on the phone line. Mr. Austin, these are grave allegations that your ex-party leader is making against the party. She says it's almost a casting couch-like situation within the Congress. And this, of course, as the Me Too storm continues to rock the film industry.
Actually, if you look at the original interview which Simi Rosebell had given to News 18 channel, she has not made any allegations regarding sexual abuse. She doesn't say anything about her personal experience. And in fact, she clarified when asked by the anchor, she clarified then that she has personally not faced any of those situations. She has reportedly said that 2 or 3 members of the party had confided in her of such situations. So it is just hearsay. So, the allegation which she has put forth today is that she has not been considered for adequate positions in the party or given equal opportunities, which itself is not true. Because she has contested in the Jilla Council election, she has contested in the Corporation Council election, she has been given an assembly seat, and she has also been made the PSC member. And I believe she has also been a delegate to the AICC. So, so much opportunities have been extended to her. So, she's casting aspersions on every political leaders from the female fraternity, which is not fair. I mean, it's not fair for her to do
very
that.
Quickly, Mr. Austin, even if this is hearsay, as you say, would you investigate the allegations that she has made?
I believe the party has constituted a 3-member committee to look into these allegations.
Okay.
But since she has made these allegations offhand, see, the basic decency which she should have done is to complain about this or bring it to the notice of the party in the appropriate forum.
All right.
Which she has not done. She has gone public through a media channel.
Okay,
and
so you believe that she should have addressed this within the party. Thanks very much, Mr. Austin, for joining us. Ishika Verma, in fact, is also joining us live from Palakkad. Ishika, so grave allegations there, and this amid more and more women activists, filmmakers. It's almost like a wave, a Me Too wave, which is not only confined to the Kerala film industry anymore. But these are grave allegations that Simi Rosebell has made.
Well, yes, in fact, Vedant, as you rightly mentioned, that these are very grave allegations that now, in fact, the ex-Congress leader, Simi Rosebell, has in fact made, and that too against the party itself. And now, in fact, what we are seeing is that the party has taken action on it, and now they have expelled her from the party. Now, after this, she has reacted to this, and she has said that she has made a mistake of becoming the voice of the women. Now, in her particular reaction, she has also again attacked the leader of the opposition, that is V.D. Satishan, and said that he is not scared of anything, but now I am scared to even walk on the roads because anything can happen to me. She, in fact, in her reaction has said that many other leaders, on them as well the action was taken, but the party was unable to prove as to why they were expelled from the party. And she says that her situation is the same. Remember that this comes allegations after, in fact, she had made a controversial statement in a private TV channel where she had, in fact, alleged that there is almost a casting couch-like situation within the Congress party, and only those who are close to the leadership get opportunities. So now, certainly, this Me Too storm that we are seeing, it's already intensifying. It is not, as you mentioned, confined to the Malayalam film industry anymore. Now, this, is coming from within the Congress party as well. Over to you.
All right, Ishika, thanks very much for joining us with the latest there. So a lot of unanswered questions that those in positions of power really need to answer and fix accountability. With that, we'll take a quick break now, but news continues on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative.
Welcome back. Well, the big headline, Kangana Ranaut's Emergency has now been postponed. The release of the Emergency movie has been postponed. This amid a lot of protests as well, but the censor board is yet to give clearance for the release of the movie. The CBFC, the Film Certification Board, the censor board reportedly has asked for more cuts. My colleague Abira is joining us live on the phone line from Mumbai. Abira, what more details do you have? There have been a lot of political protests over this as well. But of course, the censor board seeking more cuts is what you can report at the moment.
Yes, that's what it has been reported. And let's get back to, what is important here is Emergency is just not starting Kangana Ranaut, but it's also her directorial debut. So this development has come days after Kangana Ranaut claimed that Emergency's clearance was stopped because members of the Central Board of Film Certification received threats. So now it has been said that the release has been postponed as movie is yet to receive CBFC clearance. So there has been a lot of controversy since the trailer came out, and she took to X saying that there have been rumors doing the rounds that the film Emergency has been granted censor board, but that is not true. And in fact, their film has been cleared, but certification has been stopped because of the threats. And threats, what she meant was death threats. And she made that very clear, and that's the reason we still don't know when the film is releasing, but surely not releasing on 6th of September as it was supposed to release.
All right, Abida, thanks very much for joining us with the latest there, and this certainly will spark a political row as well, given the fact that we saw some protests from political parties as well as trade organizations earlier on. But looking now at the situation in Manipur, well, isolated incidents of violence still being reported in the state that is limping back to normalcy. In fact, we saw how those dramatic visuals came in from Manipur. The state government, of course, has said that all efforts to establish peace in the state are being made, and such acts are condemned very strongly. The state government has already taken up immediate action to control the situation. But what were exactly these attacks? My colleague Ratndeep Chaudhary has more details.
At a time when Manipur was slowly limping back to normalcy, violence has once again erupted in the state today. Incidents of firing and explosion have taken place in Kautuk in Imphal West, which is adjacent to the Kankopi district, which is in the fringe area of the valley region and the hill region. And the state government has come on record to say that at least 2 people have died and several people are injured. What we are picking up from our sources in the government, that in different hospitals the injured people have been shifted. This includes our security personnel, and at least 9 to 10 people are injured. This numbers might go up because even as we report, there are reports of firing, intermittent firing, as well as explosions which are taking place. And very significantly, the state government has on record said that this time drones and bombs were used in this attack. So this is a reason of concern, given the fact that military grade drones bound for Manipur were actually apprehended months back by Assam police. That gave an indication that people who are involved in violent activities in Manipur have been using not only sophisticated arms, not only sophisticated ammunitions, bombs, but now they've started to use drones. And this time it seems that the state government now claims that drones were used.
And well, moving now to the other big headline, the rain situation in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, where at least 8 people have died in Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada in those landslides that were triggered by heavy rain. In fact, there you can see those unprecedented visuals coming in from Andhra Pradesh, almost neck-deep water, people having to wade through neck-deep water, and also vehicles washed away, office buildings and houses submerged as well. There is a rain red alert for both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh for the next couple of days. In fact, the Home Minister also spoke to both the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh Chief Ministers, taking stock of the situation. Also in Hyderabad, schools and colleges have been shut. But looking at more news now from down south, well, Chennai is hosting South Asia's first Formula 4 night street racing. Chennai is the 14th city to hold Formula 4 racing globally and the 5th city to host night racing. Saurav Ganguly, John Abraham, Naga Chaitanya arrived in Chennai to watch the Formula 4 race. And listen in to this exclusive conversation that my colleague Sam had with Naga Chaitanya.
Is now Naga Chaitanya, also the owner of a team. Thank you very much. First of its kind for India.
So excited to see this happen. A night race on the street in Chennai is something 5-10 years back I didn't dream would happen, but today it's happening. So I think it's a great moment for the city. It's a great moment for India and for Chennai, bringing the sport closer to the people and giving it all the exposure.
What would this mean for motorsports in India?
I know there is a huge community of motorsport fans in India. I think this is a great moment for all of them because it's, just bringing it to the street takes the energy so much more closer to the people. So it's a great moment. Yeah.
In terms of cricket, when you compare it to cricket, still motorsports is lagging behind a lot. You think events like this, when it becomes part of the calendar of several cities, things could change?
I don't want to compare it to cricket. Cricket is cricket. I'm a cricket fan too, and motorsport is motorsport. They're two very different energies, two very different textures. But yeah, of course, as we see more and more races like this on the city streets, definitely it's going to grow. The sport is going to grow for sure.
Last question: turning or converting regular roads into racing tracks. Some say it also creates hardship for the people.
Yeah. I know what you mean, I know what you're talking about, but I'm sure they're taking all the measures possible, keeping it as, least troublesome to the people. So yeah, that's all.
How does it feel to be an owner?
Feels great, it's a dream come true. It's a dream come true.
And with that, we'll take a short break now, but news continues on the other side. Thanks so much for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
And Chennai is hosting South Asia's first Formula 4 night street racing. It's the 14th city to hold Formula 4 racing globally.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate.
Hello friends and welcome back to another fresh episode of your favorite tech show, Tech with TG. Well, आज के इस एपिसोड में I want extra attention from all of you. I mean, no jokes, no clever puns. आज बात को बिल्कुल नहीं घुमाएंगे क्योंकि आज का जो टॉपिक है, it is very important and I believe कि इस फील्ड में बहुत ज़्यादा इनोवेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट भी है, at the same time स्कोप भी है, क्योंकि आज हम बात करने वाले हैं अबाउट असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी. हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम है गौरव एके टेक्निकल गुरुजी. यू आर वाचिंग टेक विद टीजी. जल्दी से आगे बढ़ते हैं, चलिए शुरू करते हैं. देखिए दोस्तों, जब हम बात करते हैं टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में तो टेक को कहा गया है द ग्रेट यूनिफायर. अब अगर आप सोच रहे हैं हाउ, व्हेन, व्हाई, मतलब दिस टर्म यूनिफायर, द सिंपल एग्जांपल वुड बी ऑफ योर फ्रेंड जो कि शायद आपसे काफी हजारों किलोमीटर दूर है और विद द हेल्प ऑफ जस्ट वन टैप यू आर बोथ एबल टू कनेक्ट ऑन अ वीडियो कॉल. हो गया ना यूनिफाई. बट इस यूनिफिकेशन का एक फिजिकल एस्पेक्ट भी है. थिंक ऑफ पीपल विद फिजिकल और मेंटल डिसेबिलिटीज. वो लोग जो शायद एक कंप्यूटर तक चल के जा भी ना पाए जहां से उन्हें वो वीडियो कॉल स्टार्ट करना है. वो लोग जो शायद ठीक से सुन ना पाए या वो लोग जो शायद ठीक से देख ना पाए. What about these people? Well guys, this is where assistive tech comes in picture. I mean, ये एक ऐसा डोमेन है which kind of enables all these people to enjoy the same tech that you and me enjoy. And यहाँ पे because the situations are quite diverse, one solution fits all type का यहाँ पे कुछ हम example नहीं देख सकते हैं because sometimes it's very different person to person. But over the years what we have seen is that assistive tech has kind of enabled millions and millions to come enjoy the tech the same way that we use on a daily basis. अब यहाँ पे the definition that I find that the best suitable is kind of assistive tech is the tech which empowers everyone to be one like all of us. ये है the real unification. And guys, if you just look back at the history of this, it's not just like 10 years ago or 15 years ago कि एक मोबाइल फ़ोन में एक कुछ नया एप्लीकेशन आ गया जिसको आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं और शायद वॉइस कमांड से फ़ोन को यूज़ कर लें या अपनी आँखों से यूज़ कर लें. Well guys, this goes way back. I mean, फिर चाहे वो हम बात करें फर्नीचर विद व्हील्स की, चाहे हम बात करें अबाउट सेल्फ प्रोपेलिंग व्हील चेयर्स की, या हम बात करें क्रचेस या स्पेक्टिकल्स की, हमने देखा है कैसे ओवर द ईयर्स with the help of assistive tech we kind of have enabled all these people जो शायद किसी disability से जूझ रहे हैं. It could be since birth, it could be accidental, लेकिन वो जब इस tech को use करते हैं they are more comfortable, they are more independent. Now of course we'll talk to an expert as well, but उससे पहले let's just explore that what is assistive tech and how it helps people with disabilities.
असिस्टिव टेक वो टेक्नोलॉजी है, वो गैजेट्स हैं, इट इज़ दोज डिवाइसेस दैट हेल्प एम्पावर पीपल विद डिसेबिलिटीज़ एंड येट हाउएवर इनकी नीड, डिमांड एंड यूसेज इन अपेरेंट यूज केसेस से भी ज़्यादा है. Assistive tech is of great help to the elderly. Assistive tech is of everyday importance for people with long-term health conditions जैसे कि diabetes, heart problems and others like dementia. It doesn't just make day-to-day life better for them, that it does, but it goes way above and way beyond. Assistive technology लोगों को independence की एक feeling देती है. It gives them the chance to be self-dependent. ये उन्हें सोसाइटी का एक included हिस्सा बनने की opportunity देती है, which helps in contributing to an overall enhancement in the quality of life. A recent study published by the United Nations says that globally, more than 2.5 billion people need one or more than one assistive products और ये number grow ही कर रहा है. With an aging global population और communicable diseases के rise के चलते, WHO estimates कि globally 3.5 billion लोगों को assistive technology की ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है by the year 2050. लेकिन एक बहुत बड़ा गैप है डिमांड और सप्लाई में. As few as 3% of people in some low-income countries were reported to have access to the assistive products that they needed, in comparison to 90% in some high-income countries. And इनकी need has never been felt more than today. Providing hearing aids early for young children, जिससे उनकी education positively impact होती है, future employment guarantee होता है, and community participation बढ़ता है. अप्रोप्रिएट व्हील चेयर्स मोबिलिटी को एक्सेसिबल बनाते हैं, एजुकेशन एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट की अपॉर्चुनिटीज को एक्सेस कराते हैं, एंड एज अदर टर्शरी इफेक्ट्स रिड्यूस हेल्थ केयर कॉस्ट बाय प्रिवेंटिंग कॉम्प्लिकेशंस लाइक प्रेशर सोर्स. Timely assistive technology for older adults boosts their independence and safety, allowing them to live at home longer, and उन लोगों का peace of mind जिन पे वो लोग डिपेंड करते हैं.
So friends, देखा आपने that how important is assistive tech to millions and millions of people all around us. Well, after the break हम थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में डिटेल में बात करने वाले हैं with an expert as well, and हम एक्सप्लोर करेंगे that how we are moving ahead and what all needs to be done in future ताकि हम और ज़्यादा बेटर तरीके से जो यूनिफिकेशन की बात कर रहे हैं उसको अचीव कर पाए. See you all right after this short break.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today.
Hello friends and welcome back after the break to your favorite technology show Tech with TG, and today's episode is very special because आज हम बात कर रहे हैं about assistive technology. Well, जब मैं research कर रहा था about this field, I came across multiple articles जहाँ पे empathy के बारे में हम बात कर रहे थे. अब researchers तो कहते हैं that empathy and sympathy they can be easily programmed. और हमने ये मूवीज में भी देखा है होते हुए जहाँ पे वी हैव सीन दैट हाउ रोबोट्स समटाइम्स डेवलप ऑल दीज इमोशंस एंड फीलिंग्स. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि काइंड ऑफ द इमोशंस दैट वी हैव इनको प्रोग्राम करना बड़ा मुश्किल है बिकॉज हमारा एक अलग ह्यूमन एंगल होता है, हमारा एक अलग ह्यूमन टच होता है. What do you have to say about this? What are your responses? Please let me know. You know the address. It's tg@ndtv.com. But abhi, let's move ahead and talk to an expert जो कि इस field के बारे में काफ़ी बेहतर जानते हैं and उनसे हम discuss करते हैं about this assistive technology and how exactly we see its growth all around us.
My name is P.V. Madhusudan Rao.
मेरा नाम पीयूष चांदना है.
I am currently a faculty at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, in the Department of Mechanical Engineering and the Department of Design.
मैं असिस्टिक लैब में लीड साइंटिस्ट हूँ और नेशनल सेंटर फॉर असिस्टिव हेल्थ टेक्नोलॉजीज का प्रोग्राम कोऑर्डिनेटर हूँ.
One of my areas of work is development of assistive technologies, particularly for people with visual impairment and blindness. And पिछले 20 साल से we are actually developing products particularly mobility के लिए और education के लिए to empower people. Assistive technology जो है एक बहुत बड़ा broad term है.
जब मैं assistive technology बोलता हूँ it can be very very simple, just like something कि you draw on a paper and paper gets embossed, raised हो जाता है तो आप raised चीज़ को touch करके you can understand what it is, तो आपको diagram समझ में आ जाता है. और it can be very high end, जो ये डायग्राम है इसकी डिस्क्रिप्शन एआई के थ्रू ऑटोमेटिकली जनरेट हो जाएगी और वो पूरा डायग्राम मैं एक टेक्स्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन के थ्रू इजीली लिसन कर पाऊंगा.
सबसे बड़ा असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी जो आजकल दुनिया में है वो है मोबाइल फोन.
To enable inclusion, you need right tools and solutions. and if they are there, then they will redefine what a person can do or cannot do. So it's about changing the definition of what capability a person has. Suppose you want to drill a hole in the wall. If you don't have a drill machine, then it's a very tedious task. But as soon as you get the drill machine, that's a 1 second task. So the same role is of assistive technology.
अगर assistive technology का अगर मुझे examples लेना होगा, let's take for example visual disability का. एक टाइम था जब लोग जो है टेक्स्ट को एक्सेस कर पाते थे, टेक्स्ट टू स्पीच एंड टेक्स्ट टू ब्रेल, वो पॉसिबिलिटी था, बट पिक्चर्स को एक्सेस नहीं कर पाते थे.
How will you understand a Pythagoras theorem without looking at the diagram?
अब जो है टैक्टाइल डायग्राम्स, जिन्हें हम डायग्राम्स विच वी कैन टच कहते हैं, उसके द्वारा काफ़ी जो पिक्टोरियल कंटेंट है उसको भी एक टैक्टाइल रूट से जो है एक्सेसिबिलिटी कर सकते हैं.
If you have the tactile one, then you just touch and understand, and the concept is in your mind forever.
So this is एक बिग चेंज है. अगर लोगों को साइंस पढ़ना है या साइंस सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ना है, जैसे एनाटॉमी या ट्रिग्नोमेट्री, बिना डायग्राम्स के आप सीख नहीं सकते, तो एक टैक्टाइल डायग्राम द्वारा वो पॉसिबिलिटी है.
There was a girl in Mumbai. She was low vision, partial vision था उनका. Her challenge was कि now lot of malls have these glass doors. बड़े-बड़े entrance होते हैं and you have glass doors on that. So it's very difficult to figure it out with the partial vision. So you get to know only after colliding with the glass door. But if you have this sort of technology, then this problem is solved in seconds. As soon as you are closer to a glass door, your cane will vibrate and vibrations will tell you how far is that obstacle, and you become cautious and you avoid the collision.
अगर मुझे एक एग्जाम्पल फॉर हियरिंग लेना है, तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल स्पीच टू टेक्स्ट जो है इन वेरियस फॉर्म्स इज़ हेल्पिंग. एक तो मोबाइल में इट इज़ ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल एज अ फ्री, but there are also products, for example there are special spectacles जो available है. इसमें जैसे हम आप बात कर रहे हैं, तो जो चीज़ें बोली जा रही है वही जो है टेक्स्ट के रूप में आपके ग्लासेस पे आते हैं. मतलब आप लोगों को देख भी पा रहे हैं, बट एट द सेम टाइम जो वो कह रहे हैं वो पढ़ भी पा रहे हैं. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है. सिमिलरली अगर हम लोकोमोटर डिसेबिलिटी का ले, तो बहुत सारे एक्सोस्केलेटन्स एक्सेट्रा जो है उसमें काफ़ी डेवलपमेंट हुआ है. एंड पर्टिकुलरली विथ ब्रेन मिशन इंटरफेस की वजह से ये एक्सोस्केलेटन्स भी जो है दे हैव बिकम रियली पावरफुल. वो एक बड़ा एग्जाम्पल है. सिमिलरली डेवलपमेंट्स जो है लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी में एंड इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटीज़ में, टेक्नोलॉजी हैज़ रियली पेनिट्रेटेड, एंड आई थिंक फ्यूचर में इसके बेनिफिट्स जो है कई लोगों तक पहुंचेंगे.
असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी ना बहुत बार बहुत बेसिक भी हो सकती है, और वो ऐसी चीज़ भी हो सकती है जो हर पर्सन के लिए मीनिंगफुल हो, नॉट ओनली फॉर पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटी.
इट इज़ ऑल्सो यूज बाई पीपल सच एज एल्डरली. इन फैक्ट ऑलमोस्ट 1/3 ऑफ द वर्ल्ड जो है असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजीज यूज़ करता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हम स्पेक्टिकल देखें जो नॉर्मल कई लोग पहनते हैं, वो भी एक असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी है, क्योंकि वो एक पर्टिकुलर फंक्शनल इम्पेयरमेंट को करेक्ट करने के लिए होता है. एंड जब भी कोई डिसेबिलिटी में एक सेंस चला जाता है, तो हम बाकी 4 सेंस से उसको सब्सटीट्यूट करते हैं, जिसे हमें सेंसरी सब्सटीट्यूशन कहते हैं. जैसे जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है, तो असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी का दायरा भी बढ़ रहा है. एंड बहुत सारे जो फ्यूचर में असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजीज आएंगे, वो ये भी हो सकता है कि काफ़ी जो है ब्रेन लेवल इम्प्लांट के साथ काम करे, एंड सेंसरी सब्सटीट्यूशन काफ़ी अच्छी तरीके से कहे. और दूसरा ये है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की वजह से भी जो नॉर्मल डेटा प्रोसेसिंग और जो डेटा इंटेलिजेंस चाहिए असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजीज़ में, अब वो भी एक पॉसिबल हो सका.
फॉर AI in this field, we are already developing number of solutions. So they are typically in the direction of making images accessible. So you just give GPT certain instructions to assume a role of a image describer, and then the GPT will describe the images for you. So other part is like, how would a blind person do coding? So if they want to become data analysts or data scientists, then that is possible now. slowly students have started taking up. There are students, there are team members in our team who do coding in Python and everything. So there we are using the power of AI to teach a student where he has gone wrong and how that can be corrected.
जब भी हम assistive technology use करते हैं तो it generates lot of data and जहाँ data है there is a lot of scope for artificial intelligence क्योंकि डेटा को contextual बनाने में AI का एक बहुत बड़ा रोल है and वहाँ जो है we are already seeing some of the assistive technologies which are using AI in a big way to give a much better experience to people otherwise which was not possible. As we go along, for example, if I take virtual reality जो है अभी largely it's based on concept of a visual creativity or you can say visual inputs जो होते हैं. But जो new VR systems आ रहे उसमें विजन के अलावा आपका टच और टैक्टाइल सेंसर्स भी आ रहे हैं. सो जैसे जैसे न्यू सेंसर्स इंटीग्रेट हो रहे हैं वीआर के साथ तो इसका बेनिफिट जो है पीपल विद डिसेबिलिटीज़ तक भी पहुंचेगा.
टेक्नोलॉजी तो डेफिनेटली इट्स अ ग्रेट यूनिफायर. टू डायरेक्शंस आई वुड से फॉर टेक. वन इज की हाई टेक सॉल्यूशंस.
न्यू जनरेशन ऑफ असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजीज जो आ रहे हैं they'll also use robotics in a very big way. In fact, we also have a program where we are looking at exploring robo and artificial intelligence as basically somebody who is a caregiver for the elderly person. A robo can help an elderly person to identify a medicine and give the medicine at the right time in a right form for consuming is possible.
दूसरी साइड पे very important thing in assistive technology is very low tech solutions. So what happens as teachers, you do lot of innovations, but those innovations never become solutions. मेरे टीचर ने मेरे लिए कुछ चीज़ें बनाई बट वो हज़ारों बच्चों तक कभी पहुंची नहीं. उनके टीचर्स को कुछ आइडिया नहीं है. So another area which excites us a lot is